Just a quick microphone check. Quick microphone check. How we doing? All right, a little muffled. All right, we good though. Doing it's no longer 9 degrees. It's like 23 degrees. So it's warm enough to do my daily. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's warm enough to do my daily walk as I go live, man. But the 10 degrees, 9 degrees, I can't do it. All right. So I'm getting my exercise in while it's warmer. 23 degrees. Yes, that's bad, right? All right. Anyway, shall we? Shall we get started? Shout out to the family. Family, you know, or you should know, everything I say I can prove. All right. All right. So I'm gonna deal with what I said last night about Tariq Nasheed doesn't have an issue with other names. Like that's the goal. The goal is to spread it out thin where you can't attack one name, but they all mean the same thing. And don't. I told you guys the longest. The name really doesn't matter. It's about the people. That's us. We could name ourselves Ninja Turtles. Just as long as clear who we're referring to. Okay. Here we go. New song. It's called Nobody Prayed for Us. I almost did it again. I forgot the audio's not being shared. I just thought about it. I said, wait a minute. I hate that feature, man. I hate that audio feature, bro, because they don't stay up there. It goes away so fast, you forget about it. And I almost made that same mistake. But luckily me, I caught it. All right, let's try it again. Okay. Oh, there we go. God. All right, now it's tripping. There's a delay. Okay, there we go. It's tripping. Okay, I got it. It's tripping. Maybe the code. I don't know.
They brought us to this country as a labor force. We built a foundation and they hate us for it. They hate us for it. We built a foundation and they ain't pay us for it. They ain't pay us for it, but they gon' pay for it. Already prayed for it. Non-believers didn't pray for us. Non-believers didn't pray for us. We're black and we built a foundation. Stone by stone, generation to generation. Vultures said we had no culture. Them vultures got a Jay-Z poster. Them vultures got a lacy culture. Vultures eat what they didn't kill. Vultures sleep what they didn't build. They brought us to this country as a labor force. We built a foundation and they hate us for it. We built a foundation and they ain't pay us for it. They ain't pay for it, but they gon' pay for it. Already paid for it. Nobody prayed for it. Nobody doesn't pray for us. Nobody doesn't pray for us. Black and we built a foundation. Stone by stone, generation to generation. Vultures said we had no culture. And vultures got a Jay-Z poster. Vultures got a lazy post mojo.
And there was a video of a rapper, what's her name? Mona Leo, I think that's her name. And somebody called in talking about her the other day. Now, this sister, I forgot what city she's from, but she did a video. She did a song called, was it Sexy Salon? Something like that. It was, I know it was Salon something. It was, I think it was Sexy Salon. Now, Salon, that's a term that our brother Marak and a couple other brothers who are in here, they've created that term. And it means the same thing as foundational Black American. It's the same thing. And that's actually a very good thing that we use different terms to describe the same thing. Strategically, that's a very smart thing to do, ladies and gentlemen. We should have the ability to use different terms to describe the same thing. Yeah? Because when you do that, that prevents targeted suppression of a single term. See, if you have a Renaissance movement and it just relies on one label, that's cool, but sometimes it can be easier for the media, tech platforms, political groups to try to target, censor, or do some algorithmic suppression of that term. So a lot of times, multiple interchangeable terms, sometimes that allows the movement to evade some type of digital censorship if it happens. And also, it kind of protects to a certain degree from too much co-opting and too much delusion. Like the dominant society, they try to co-opt a term, having multiple alternatives that allows the community to kind of pivot quickly and preserve the original message. So the ability to switch terms when need be in certain settings, that's the linguistic self-defense mechanism. So we've got to learn how to be very smart and strategic with the words we use. Like foundational Black American, Solon, descendant of slaves, freedmen, these are all the same terms. I mean, it means all the same thing. It's supposed to mean the same thing. It all means the same thing. It means people who are from non-immigrant backgrounds. And the thing is, in different settings, like if you're in a court setting and we're talking about certain tangibles, we would use the term freedman because there's already a legal federal precedent for that term. We already have the Freedmen's Bureau. So we would use that term so that the white supremacists won't circle back and say, hey, you're making a program based on race. No. We're making a program based on status, freedmen. You understand? When we're talking about culture, we use the term foundational Black American, just general everyday cultural conversations. That's when we use that term. But the point is we have to know how to interchange the terms when need be. That's a good thing. See, when you expand the terms, it resonates with different people different ways. You know, like an older person might not know what salon mean, but they'll know what freedman mean. Oh, freedman, okay, I know what that is. So they can relate to that. So sometimes different labels help different audiences connect with the message. You understand what I'm saying? And also, you better be able to use different terms, and these terms mean the same thing, and you keep the terms up, or you keep the spirit of what the terms mean, you keep that in the lexicon, because somebody might create a term or popularize a term or put a term out there, and then that term gets co-opted. And if everybody's just sticking to that one term and it's been co-opted, the whole shit goes to hell. That's what almost happened with ADOS.
We trying to upgrade the channel, elevate the channel, man. But
about 10, 12 years. So like I said, all this has to come into play. You have to know your history.
This is
No.
So
I'm not saying that it's what's that?
The White Supremacist Council of Conservative Citizens.
Hold on
Members.
Hold on one second, family.
you ain't got, bro.
Is he trying to critique Dr. Claude Anderson? The guy's talking is like retarded, by the way. I had it right where I wanted it, and then somehow I can't. We're here somehow. He got FBA
30 seconds
and they're
remaining.
Yeah, FBA, CIA. Okay, so let me try it this way. These guys are sick and they're obsessed with us and our spaces. We don't call in their shows at all. We do enough hating, we'll pop our head in here and there. Like they called me to join this right here. So I said, all right, let me call in and defend the lineage from this sickle.
U.S. slave chattel experiences, lineages. And we put it where it's at.
Who the top leaders? You first you say it ain't a movement. Now you're talking about is we and JJ need to get out the way. All us elders.
All right, so this is me. I called in. Somebody called me to call in, by the way. It's like, yo, some clown with no views is disrespecting the lineage, misrepresenting what the lineage is about, misrepresenting what FBA is. They're calling it CIA. I said, all right, give me the, and this is on the fly. I said, I'm like laying down. I'm like, yo, literally laying down because he gonna have me cut my camera. I'm like, dude, I'm laying down. What the hell, man? I'm really in bed. This is like in the morning. So I said, all right, let me call in, cook this goof, and defend the lineage.
I ain't listen, bro. Until y'all can, I ain't even really interested because I know this non-movement really ain't nothing but just a confusion going against other people who don't agree with y'all. Y'all ain't doing nothing for us. Where's the political pack?
Who's the us? Wait, who's the us? You said
what
us.
Congressman
Who you leading?
are you getting in front of? What make y'all better than Dr. Claude Anderson right now? What make you better? I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to run your mouth, then I'm gonna go for 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Why would I be better than another? Why would I be better than another?
You get on here and convince us.
I ain't trying to convince y'all.
You got 2 minutes,
but
I'm gonna talk for 2 minutes.
Okay, cool. Look at the crazy question you asked me. Like, these ain't serious questions. You said, what makes us better than another Black American? Nothing makes me better than another Black American. That's your answer. Nothing. How can I be better than another Black American? That's a weird, divisive question. That's crazy. That's the best you got? Those type of questions?
You got 2 minutes, bro, to speak.
That's it. I answered.
Then I'm gonna get it. Look, you got 2 minutes to speak, bro. Then he has nothing. You got a whole nother minute to speak. Go ahead.
That's it. All right. So now, let me get on. All right, so let me get on Professor Kuhn Small. That damn paid Russian troll agent. All right. Like I said, you guys are in the way. Now you talk about reparations, which I know you're nothing about. It was you Pan-Africanist people was pitching with Dan with Incorp was pitching reparations as a race-based package, race-based claim. There's no such thing as a reparations race-based claim. They're all lineage-based. So we had to get you guys out the way totally for sabotaging reparations. That's why we ain't getting it. And we put it where it's at, where it's supposed to be, a lineage-based claim, not a race-based claim. Race is, when you say race in America, Black, that includes everybody who's African descent. Afro-Caribbeans, anybody from Africa that comes to America and become an immigrant, plus Black Americans with U.S. slave chattel experiences, lineages. What the hell they all got to do? The Afro-Caribbeans, the recent immigrants coming from Africa, what do they all got to do with a United States race lineage? No, I'm sorry, reparations lineage claim. They just got it yesterday. So no, all persons of African descent doesn't get included. Just like all people of Japanese descent wasn't included in the internment camp. The Italians got reparations. All Italian descent, all white descent people didn't get part of the Italian reparations claim when they got about 50,000 in person. Yeah, it's for the harmed party only.
30 seconds remaining.
That's it. I'm good.
Okay. All right, Rakufu, before you go, let me get my 2 minutes, bro. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I was expecting, and please don't cut me off. I 2 minutes queue. I'll make my 2 minutes worth listening to. The thing he does is go elder, which makes money in a move. Type of pack or organization, they just running around here disagreeing with everybody. That's what they doing. I asked this brother in the beginning, I said, well, what politician are you working with? How much of a check we gonna get? Is for like 200 years of catches up? Do we get extra benefits off? I mean, do we get money, low interest rates? What is this movement doing? And he, as you can see, all he came up here to do was insult somebody. So I'm gonna ask him again. He gonna get the floor at the Rakufu go, and he's gonna tell us what progress. Heard somebody, we've been one of Afro, whatever elite, whoever this guy is. Hasn't shown us no progress. You've been doing this for 4 years. Are you working with Dr. Claude Anderson? These are some questions we need to ask. Are you? Well, I did a show showing you the politicians got a damn near $4 trillion on the table for reparation. And these idiots ain't even trying to politically form some kind of block or pact to get these politicians to lobby for us. They worried about, well, no, we didn't take this from adults, and you're tethered, and you don't belong here, and all that energy wasted on making videos, and they're not out here raising funds for somebody to support us with this, getting us our money. It's a waste of goddamn time, man. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. We already got ISUPK. We already got the Jabaris out there confusing us. We already got that. Why do we need another organization with somebody else up here lying and crying? So Ryan Jackson, you can get up here talking about this lineage. You can get up here, sir. You can get up here and explain what have they done. That shouldn't be no question for you to throw ad hocs. For real. Well, let me add the rest of the people up here. My fault. Hold up. So I'm biased. I'm gonna let this brother Rakufu up here. Let's see what he got.
Go ahead, Jay.
Go ahead, bro.
So I want to read this, and I don't want to be interrupted because I want the people listening to get this. This is a question I asked ChatGPT. African Americans being coined by Jesse Jackson is a misnomer. We African Americans was called Africans since we got off the slave ship. And then this is ChatGPT's answer. The idea that African American was invented by Jesse Jackson in 1988 and is therefore a misnomer is a common statement today. Jesse Jackson did not invent the idea of calling black people Africans. From the moment enslaved people were brought to the Americas, Europeans called them Africans. So I just want people to hear that statement, because all these people coming on the side of us like little bitty maggots picking at that statement and trying to attribute it to Jesse Jackson as if though we've been dumb for all these years and didn't know we was African is the biggest lie that I don't know if FBA is whoever doing it. You need to stop it because you're lying. Our ancestors have always been known as African. That's all I wanted to say, Jay.
Can I respond to that, to you?
You can respond. Go ahead.
All right. So let me introduce myself, my boy. My name is Unbiased Ron, and I'm that guy. My channel is FBA News and Updates. You got the right guy on here. First of all, it's a straw man. I know about the AME Church. Okay, nobody, was it Richard Allen? Nobody out here said Jesse Jackson he invented anything. We say
Don't say that. Some people are saying that.
Wait. You are cutting in, sir. Wait, hey.
Turn your camera on real quick. Now turn your camera on, bro, so the people can see who we talking to.
Well, I'm laying down,
Just
my
turn
boy.
your camera on real quick.
All right, I'll turn real fast. I'm probably in the dark.
What you hiding for? What you hiding for, man?
There you go. I'm laying down. Just say I'm laying down. Okay, so I'm laying down. Now, you see how fast this guy cut it? You see how fast this guy cut in?
All right, there you go.
No, hold up, Jay. You got to understand, Jay. I'm not telling him that they movement are saying it. I said,
wait, no. But it's my turn though.
See how hold up. I'm not saying you're saying it. So stop making it into an argument. It's not an argument.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, whatever.
I'm gonna have to put you in the back till he get ready done speaking, bro.
Yeah, control your. See, these guys talk about self-righteousness, self-discipline. Got no self-discipline. Do we practice that first before any self-righteousness? Now, what I was saying was our claim. You said a straw man. Our claim was never Jesse Jackson invented something. My claim is he popularized it and made it national. We never nationally. I know there's a few sprinkles of people who call themselves African during the 1800s. I know that. I know my history, my boy. But it was never. If you look at the percentage who called themselves that, it's real tiny. Everybody called themselves Negro or colored. Jesse Jackson made it national with the help of the DNC and then other liberals and Jewish media. They put it in media. They put it on forums. So they made it. They forced it on you. Nobody's told for that terminology. Nobody said people was proud to be colored and Negro at that time. Okay, so then you're talking about 1990s when Jesse Jackson popularized it on national forums, my boy. And then it was never exclusive when Jesse Jackson brought it to us. It was never exclusive to just Black Americans, Native Black Americans. It was inclusive to any immigrant who come over here. They were also tagged African American as well. So it was a racial term. It wasn't a lineage or exonym term. It was a racialized term. So I know about Melvin Charles. I don't know if you do. Melvin Charles came up with the Black American Heritage Flag. That's 1967. You see? So I put a date on it, like, yo, Gotti. So we always was naming ourselves. So you got exonym, somebody named you something. You got endonym when you name yourself something. We named ourselves Black in the 60s. In the 50s, Elijah Muhammad, the whole, you say Black movement, Black Muslim movement, Malcolm X and those guys. The Message to the Black Man in America, what the book was called. Not the Message to the African American. The UNIA don't stand for African American, bro. It stands for Negro. The NAACP, colored. All right? Let me straighten you out with a little history.
Okay. All right. My turn. Hold up. All right. My turn, man. Okay, bro. So all you did was give us a little history of this, a little history of that. We're talking about the future. We're talking about what is going on right now in 2025, where we should even take y'all serious to even be like, okay, because y'all running around here attacking other people, calling people tethers, telling people who can get this and who can get that according to your lookership. Because you don't know how long somebody's family been here. Some of the we all been shipped over. A lot of y'all we were originally here. So I mean, all this. So what I'm saying is, bro, where is the groundwork? Where is the politicians? You haven't given me one. What politician is Tyreek and she working with? Can you answer that right now? I'm gonna put you on the big camera. You go ahead and tell us. See, you can't.
Well, I had to come off mute. Now I muted myself. I'm respecting your channel. I ain't like, oh boy,
Yeah,
it's
okay,
all unleashed.
We ain't gotta talk about that. Go ahead and answer the question.
I got it. But you got it. Okay, Tariq Nasheed's not a leader. Right? That's your problem.
Who?
We're not relying on Tariq Nasheed to be a leader and to speak to politicians for me or anybody else. And that's why I asked you earlier, what does FBA stand for? FBA is a renaming of a better name of the lineage. ADOS is no different, and neither are descendants of American freedmen. These are just labels, but they're all speaking to the same audience. Black Americans that experienced slavery in this country, Jim Crow, Black Reconstruction. These are all just different names that we're labeling the lineage, but it's really just the lineage. That's all it is. So you could say FBA, you could say Foundation of African American. We disagree with that. But you can say that too, because you're all just speaking to the lineage, a certain group of people. Now you just said the reparation thing, who can get it, who can't get it. Well, CARICOM is a Caribbean claim for the Afro-Caribbeans, and guess who's excluded? Everybody who's not from the Caribbean. So that means Black Americans and all of Africa excluded. Because I said earlier, reparations are lineage based.
Brother, I don't care about no goddamn on CARICOM. I'm asking you to tell us what policy. Now you want. Don't worry about what CARICOM doing. Don't worry about what they doing, bro. See, now this is what they do. They talking points. They want to take you somewhere else. I ask you a specific question. What politicians are you? Oh, we're not even a movement. Then what's your point? Go ahead, bro. We don't give a damn about no CARICOM. We care about Farrakhan, but we don't care about no CARICOM.
I know you don't. I know you don't. And so I just said
we don't care about no Caribbean letting them try to.
I got it. But what I just
look, I'm gonna let you get the floor for like 5 minutes, right? I'm gonna let you because I'm gonna walk with my wife to the car. All right, you got the floor. I'll be right back. Do not run about the bill.
I get the cook. I get the cook. All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, yeah. So, old boy, rock, whatever. Do you not ready? But CARICOM is important to bring up because they have a reparations claim. It is not for the entire diaspora. Just like Black Americans, our reparations claim is not for the entire diaspora. And matter of fact, we're going to extend that claim to Africa too, because Ghana is on record for apologizing for selling us. So yeah, so Burkina Ibrahim Traoré, go get your gold, but then put some to the side, because y'all all part of slave raiding Africans who sold us. Y'all ain't our friend either. The buyer or seller ain't our friend. All right, you rounded us up, you stole us, and you sold us. And as a result, white folks abused us, put us into their countries and made their countries the most popping in the world, most superpower countries. So Africa lost out and Europe gained from us. All the diaspora coming to Europe and making their country greater. Everybody we were sent to, all those countries are great and they're dominating the world. It's Africa's fault. So we're coming to them also for reparations. They ain't off the hook. And they ain't no friend either. If the white man's the devil for buying us, then those Africans the devil too for selling us. So anyway, CARICOM claim is exclusive to CARICOM. They're not including all the diaspora and none of those guys that sold us. It's only about Afro-Caribbeans and their ancestry, their lineage at all. And if anybody from the diaspora that's not Afro-Caribbean come over there and try to tie into the reparations, they will have their own tether version. So a tether is just somebody who is trying to leech off you negatively, speak against you, sabotage, undermine you. All right, that looks like you. That's number one tether. And then the second definition of tether, just anybody in general who's trying to sabotage, undermine, that's foreign to your country. So if anybody go to Jamaica or the Caribbean period and try to undermine the reparations, speak against it, say they don't deserve it, and they from the diaspora, yeah, they are that version of a tether to them. We don't do that. We support them. We support CARICOM. We hope all of them get what's due to them. The hate comes to us. So yes, we're gonna label them something. You're supposed to. We call the white man the devil. Well, we call them racist. Yeah, you label somebody who's trying to strip you, who's trying to shake you down. You have to label them something. Burglar, criminal, thief. Yes, that's normal. That's human. That's the human way. You label your bad apple. Okay. We got for our own. We got coons. We got pals. PALLS. Pan-Africans, lying losers. That's the term. Then we got DOC, DOCC, dusty off-code coons. That's for foundational Black Americans who are off-code. We call them dusty off-code coons. So it's not about just foreigners from Africa or the Caribbean. We give labels to everybody who's off-code, who's undermining and sabotaging. So it's not exclusive to somebody else. We're not xenophobic in that way. No, everybody can get it. Okay, we're the can man. Anybody can get it. That's disrespecting lineage. I think Professor Coon Smalls is an FBA guy. You see, we're not giving him a break. I think Umar supposedly and Sarasu and Seti, these are all guys supposed to be in the lineage and they're off code and we cooking them. So nobody gets to pass. So the politicians, you don't know what FBA is, obviously. You keep saying it's an organization. That's why you lost with the answers. It's not an organization. So there's 43 million of us. It's politicians. It's everywhere. So those who call themselves Adolfs, they're foundational. Those who call themselves descendants of freemen, Laura Abedom, they're Adolfs. I mean, they're Adolfs. They're of the lineage. We're no different. Just different labels. Same people fighting for reparations. So you can include Adolf's efforts, fight for reparations, and you can include the descendants of freedmen, Laura Abedom's guys, in the efforts talking to politicians and fight for reparations. All those are included. You're trying to divide them out, cut them out, carve them out. They're all included to the fight, and we're all collectively speaking to politicians. We're not name banging. One guy got to do it. No, 43 million got to do it. Anybody of the 43 million, not one guy, not Tariq, not Marcellus, not Dan. Anybody can do it, and we've been doing it. That's why reparations is a hot topic. That's why you're talking about it. Nobody talking about CARICOM. We're talking about FBA reparations in America. And don't worry, it's coming. He said, how much? Well, the price is already set. It's 20 trillion. But for the first payout, it's a strategy how it's going to be allocated. That's all people are working out right now is allocations. And we're suing the federal government. And some of us are individually suing states like California. I think what was it, PA? Oh no. Matter of fact, New Jersey, where I'm at, New Jersey, there's a case ongoing right now against New Jersey. Now these guys are some of them are foundational. But you're trying to make Tariq the leader and say, yo, he got to do it or it's nothing. Nah, we don't have a leader. The code is the leader. The lineage is the leader. All of us are individual leaders. And that's why I say there's no hierarchy. I'm not better than Dr. Cole. You're not better than me. I'm not better than Dr. Amos. He's not better than me. We're all in this together. And we accept help. So we got people who's not FBA that want to ride with us. Like this, we want to call out the Steve Coakley's. Like, where they at? Did they go away in the 60s? Like, where's that stock of immigrants at? The support is going to help us out. Where's the Shirley Chisholms of 2025? Like, they all turned to ops, paid Russian agents to speak against their lineage and stop a reparations payout, which would do well for the world, for the diaspora and the continent. But they want to shut it down because they're team white supremacy. Now, the dude Rock, are you still there? Because I got to do a history check on your ass. But back to that, Jesse Jackson popularized African American. We never said he came up with it. We know about Richard Allen, the AME Church, and all those guys, bro. But Africa was not a popular term being thrown around. The people who call themselves Africa, now go back to ChatGPT. You want to use ChatGPT? I am ChatGPT. The people who use Africa, for the most part, were freed slaves up like near the north. Enslaved people call themselves color and Negro. So a small percentage of the free slaves at that time called themselves African, or coming from Africa, that type of language. A small percentage of us did that, dude, and it was mostly in the north, like New York. You're not ready for me, dude. And that's why I say, man, FBA News and Updates. But holla at me. Come be interviewed by me. I don't mind coming here, on the hot seat. Let's go. Let's get it. But are you brave enough to come to my hot seat and answer the questions like I'm answering yours directly? So FBA is a name of a lineage because we know African American, that attempt made the lineage a race. Let me tell you about this. Like I said, the race, white folks came up with a race in the 1990s. And they called everybody black. So they disrespected our ethnonym. They called everybody black. That's like going to Nigeria and calling everybody Yoruba because we're there visiting or getting citizenship. There's no difference. You're all from the same tribe. That's not going to work.
Ron, hold it down, man. I got to walk the dog real quick. He got to go. All right.
I got you.
All right.
I got you. So we're talking about the natives. So yes, white people in the 1990s said race was black, and that black included everybody of African descent. And the AU, they don't use the term black. They use the term POAD, people of African descent. That's what I use. I say we're all POAD, but we're not all black. It's like we're all not all Jamaican, we're not all Haitian, we're not all Yoruba, but we're all POAD, persons that accept the slave trade, that we're all persons of African descent. So, but prior to the POAD or the race black, we were black in the 60s. So white folks muddy the waters by calling everybody black for their little African descent. disrespecting our exclusive ethnonym. So we're taking that back. Like, nah, y'all slick. Because now you got the black stats. Like, where's the African American stats? And the black stats are always skewed and looking bad. Black marriage rates, single homes, prison, all that stuff. When y'all talk about black stats, y'all want to make it just FBA stats, disrespecting that the black stats by the government are racial stats. It's including everybody as African descent. But when you're talking to a tether, he'll mention the black stats like they're just exclusive to Foundation Black Americans. So now, which is it? Are you black too? I thought you were black too, but you're not black when you're bringing up negative black stats. Now all of a sudden you're not black no more. And I'm saying you were never black to begin with. You were African, Yoruba, Kenyan. You're that. We're the only black people. That's our ethnonym. We're Black Americans. Okay, you guys would say you're black racial. You'll say nationality, you're Nigerian. Then you'll say ethnonym-wise, you're Yoruba or Igbo or Santi. How that works? So you're black, and then you're African. God damn, you black, African, Nigerian, Yoruba. What about us? We're just Black American. So are we black? So we're black race and we're black ethnonym? So we're black American, and you're African, you're black, you're Nigerian, and you're Asante. You just cosplaying. And you're American on top of that. Like, no, we're black. That's our ethnonym. We're black people, we're Black Americans, and the respect is foundational. So we're Black American, but you got to add the respect to it. We built this country. So people got to know that. People coming from Africa don't know that and don't want to acknowledge that. They want to say we're just slaves. Yeah, but so we just slaves doing what? Just sitting around? No, we built the country. We're workers. And we were the only workers in this country to never get assistance. Y'all come over here legally, y'all got assistance. Y'all get welfare and state assistance. All y'all immigrants do, okay? White people had the HOLC, FHA. Y'all had the Homestead, 1862. They had some type of reparations or assistance all of their white existence in America. Black Americans are the only people throughout the Great Depression, whatever. We had to literally get it from the mud. We're thriving, being millionaires in spite of the Great Depression, while white folks is getting HOLC, FHA, covenant restrictive covenants, denying us things the whole time. All the way to the AFDC, ADC, the first versions of welfare, all the way to TANF, the new welfare state. They always been getting breaks, buyouts, all type of shit. Black Americans got absolutely nothing. And then when they try to extend something to us, they try to give it to us with restrictions. Hey, you can't have the dad around. But do you know all the immigrants today, they don't have that man house rule? Immigrants today, Jamaicans, Africans, Puerto Ricans, whatever, they all are allowed to get assistance with the dad in the house. White people with the ADC, AFDC, they got welfare with the dad in the house. We were the only people in American history to be asked, if you want this assistance, that guy got to go. That man can't be here. That father, that was only asked of Black Americans. So you damn right, we're not gonna let anybody leech off our experience. Y'all ain't experienced that. Y'all getting assistance with the dad in the house, Africans and Jamaicans and whoever else. So no, yeah, we're gonna delineate, and we're gonna and delineate. It's nothing bad. Just saying you're not me, I'm not you. That's all. I'm me and you. I'm Foundation Black American. I'm Adolf. I'm a descendant of free men. You're not. But that don't mean you're not great. You're who you are, and you're great with you being who you are. But you're not great being me. Yeah, so we shut the cosplaying down with delineation, and now people are hating because we add the clarity to it. Yeah, that foundational, that shit hurt people. People hate to hear foundational. Damn, these guys actually built something. Yeah, we built something. What do you guys build? So we ain't complaining. JJ asked about politicians, all that type of stuff, attacking Black Americans. And I think he's Black American. That's interesting. What about the politicians in Africa? Why don't you ask the Africans what politicians are they hollering at to make their country better? Their politicians corrupt, shady, and filthy, musty as hell. Got all those countries in ratchet outcomes. Third world, pissing, shitting on the street, cow pissing on the head. And you got nerds to say what we're doing. We're 1,000 times greater as far as production than any melanated country. Then that energy, you might want to ask them what they're doing with their politicians and their homelands, because they all leaving. None of them want to be in their homelands. Nobody hates Africa more than an African, and nobody hates the islands more than the islanders. Everybody's leaving their homelands to come here, some shit that we provided for them. They just said, well, what did we do? What did we accomplish? See, you don't have the right definition of what FBA is. We're defining the lineage, bro. So everything we accomplish as a country, that's you could throw ADOS on it, descendants of freedmen, and FB on it. Okay, we're acknowledging and identifying the lineage. We did all that shit. And we don't want no alliances with people who sold us or bought us. So white folks and Africans, you're out. Now the Caribbean, you know what I mean? Y'all victims like us, we could figure some shit out. But the people who sold us and bought us, you're done. Just that simple. So when we say all we got, we're talking about the lineage first and an extension to the Caribbean, because they were also sold by these buyers and sellers. But Africans and whites, they always been in business. So it's no surprise to us that Ibra and Ture linked up with the Russians and first the French. They always did business with white folks. Their first big blockbuster deal was with us, sold us and bought us. But no, man. No. There's no alliance. We're not trying to do anything with slave traders and raiders and buyers. That's it. So right now in America, we're delineating, we're separating, and we saying everybody hold their own nuts, fight for your causes on your own. We're gonna fight for ours. All right. All that extra support with these African breeding shops, y'all good. Yeah, figure that shit out. Even online, your YouTube spaces. Listen, y'all on your own.
I visit one of the best known of these, the House of Slaves. Amongst its most striking features is the door of no return, the point of departure across the ocean.
Listen, y'all, ain't nobody come from Africa. This your boy, Dane Calloway.
To let you guys know that they didn't get nobody from Africa. They didn't get nobody from Africa. The people that came from Africa willingly came over here, not by way of a slave trade.
I wish at this point to particularly to apologize deeply on behalf of the chiefs and people of Gold Coast and Ghana for the atrocities, the cruelty, the inhuman treatment that were committed 400 years ago by my ancestors during the Atlantic slave trade.
Right, they lying to y'all. Ain't nobody come from Africa. From a 35-year-old fat, failed rapper has duped, I don't want to say millions, but a lot. Got a lot of y'all walking around here talking stupid right now.
Now, the ICE attorney who told a federal judge that the system and her job sucks is no longer handling immigration-related cases for the U.S. Attorney's Office. Julie Lee made those comments during a Tuesday court hearing while she was questioned about ICE's ongoing violations of court orders. As Fox 9 investigator Paul Bloom tells us tonight, she is one of two attorneys departing an already depleted office.
The Fox 9 investigators have confirmed that Julie Lee is out. So too Anna Voss, the veteran civil chief inside Minnesota's United States Attorney's Office. The pair responsible for managing hundreds of habeas lawsuits from immigrants challenging their detention during Operation Metro Surge. Despite those departures, a spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security said today, quote, "The Trump administration is more than prepared to handle the legal caseload necessary to deliver President Trump's deportation agenda for the American people. But that is not what Lee and Voss said after walking into federal court Tuesday afternoon. Lee told a judge the office was, quote, overwhelmed with constitutional challenges from immigrants swept up during enforcement operations across Minnesota. The Fox 9 investigators found there have been more habeas filings so far this year than in all of 2025. Lee, who is handling nearly 90 of those cases, said, quote, I wish you would just hold me in contempt so I can get 24 hours of sleep. The system sucks. This job sucks.
We've seen other pleadings from assistant U.S. attorneys and from senior members of the U.S. Attorney's Office here who have talked about how they're just in triage mode because the volume of work is overwhelming. And that is a concern.
Anders Folk spent more than 10 years with the Department of Justice, including a stint as the acting U.S. attorney in Minnesota, and is now a candidate to be Hennepin County's top prosecutor.
I mean, this is a canary in the coal mine for, can this office even do its job right now?
Folk says he sees red flags with the number of court orders violated by ICE during the ongoing immigration operation. Minnesota's federal chief judge recently cited nearly 100 orders that the government violated, including those for the immediate release of wrongfully detained immigrants. The Trump administration blaming the mounting legal challenges on, quote, rogue judges.
And these are not judges that I would describe in any way as activist judges. These are judges who are very measured. And when I read these orders that we're all reading and this language that we're all reading, that would indicate the judges aren't just frustrated but are concerned because federal agencies aren't following the law. It is a concern.
Another worry for Folk here, a significant exodus from the U.S. Attorney's Office set to top double digits, including several former colleagues.
Illegals and criminal impeding Karens are rounded up and ICE carries on with business as usual. Let's get into it. The Karen squeals as if her words carry any weight to the agents. Guess what? They don't.
Stop! 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 Oh, you coward! You cowardly!
As you can see, ICE is unfazed and unmoved by the whistling Karens. They're going to have to come up with some better tactics because they are doing nothing except providing us content.
Right. Providing content.
Couple of big guys in there. You guys just have some pamphlet. Let's go.
They just provided content. A family, a lineage. Where were these Karens during Jim Crow? We were protesting the civil rights during the civil rights movement. The bus, the Rosa Parks, the bus boycott.
Guys, they're arresting him. They're arresting him.
Where were these Karens?
Oh my
when
gosh.
it came to human rights violations? These guys are disposing of
They're dragging him out of the
illegal
car. Oh my God.
This Karen energy was not
At
here.
this point, you may be asking yourself, Why is this Karen so surprised to see laws being enforced?
Right.
Well, that's because she lives in the failed state of Minnesota, where laws are loose suggestions.
When they were violating our citizen rights, these cameras were a no-show. Matter of fact, they were calling the cops.
I wish I could go out there so I could get closer.
They are the reason why there's no Rosewood, no Black Wall Street. Karens. They have always been an enemy to us. But you got to scratch your head. Why do they care about illegal? Interesting.
You'd have to go out around.
They were against legal citizens, Black Americans, but they are pro illegal immigrants.
They just like pulled him out. They didn't even like.
No Karen industry. It was Karens who were calling the cops on little kids, little Black boys and girls selling lemonade, saying that was illegal. They can't sell lemonade illegally.
I'm just going to get his name.
Illegal aliens could be in the country.
What's your name, sir?
The hypocrisy of Karen.
He's under arrest.
What's your name?
No, yo tengo abogado. Yo quiero llamar a mi abogado.
Nombre.
Byron.
Puede llamar a una persona, necesita.
Sí, pero no me agarren así de esa manera.
No puede luchar.
Step back. He's under arrest. He's under arrest.
¿Hay familia?
Byron.
No.
Yeah.
¿De dónde? ¿De dónde
You
eres?
need your hands.
¿De dónde eres?
You're under arrest. Put your hand behind your back, sir. Por favor, diga que ella me ayuda a la gente.
Don't do that.
Diga que me ayuda a la gente.
We're not interfering. We're just observing.
Okay, and step back.
What kind of idiots think they can stand 5 feet away from an active and ongoing arrest scene? These people have lost their bloody marbles.
Family, we had to create groups like the Black Panthers and Deacons for Defense to help defend our civil rights, our constitutional rights, our civil liberties. Where were the Karens? Where were these whistles? Where were these blockades against government officials during the civil rights movement? These are hypocrites.
Dígale que le ayuda a la gente. Señor. Help me. Help me.
And you got some foundational people who would sell us out for their democratic or political affiliations. Just sell out the whole of it and keep things going on that disenfranchise us and pretty much suppressive.
Which one is his car? Did you see?
Oppressive. Yeah, he going to your phone,
This
man.
Okay, you can make a phone call. Right now. Stop. No, please. Please, senor. Fucking cocksuckers! Fucking Nazis!
But they were not called Nazis when they were doing Nazi
You
work
know we
during
don't
the
want you here, right?
1960s and 50s,
You know
and
that?
40s and 30s and 20s. They were not called Nazis during that time when they were sent out there.
You know
to
that we don't want
deprive
you
us
here?
of our civil rights.
Hey, do you know that
They
we
were
don't want you
called
here?
law enforcers.
On my back far enough?
Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice, all these folks, they were called law enforcement. You shouldn't have ran. Remember that? You shouldn't have ran.
For context, a group of criminal students decided to assault a man because he wore a MAGA hat.
Wow. Gangs. Karen gangs.
You're right.
Yeah, this is wild.
1,000 whistles, 0 illegals rescued. Just as expected.
0 illegals saved, rescued. Where was this caring energy when our rights, citizen rights were being violated? They were not Nazi soldiers in the 1960s and 70s and 80s and Rodney King. You dig? What about when they got acquitted for Rodney King? It took FBA justice to take the streets. Where were those Karens? Where were the Karens saying, man, those cops better get arrested for beating on Rodney King? Yeah, they got no love for FBAs. They make that clear specifically. A 1,000 whistles and nobody's rescued. The commentator's funny. I got my salt and vinegar chips, you dig, family?
We don't want you here!
We will just smoke for us.
Some more mostly peaceful protesters acting as you might expect. No police in sight.
That's the scene right here, downtown LA.
Someone needs to go wash these terrorists' mouths out with soap. I would gladly do it for free.
Predators! Here, get the out of here! Away from me! You predator! You! What the are you gonna do? You!
Well, he should arrest you and then file a lawsuit for falsely calling him a predator, unless, of course, you mean apex predator.
Oh, I'm cooking! I don't have a gun, bitch! So how does it feel? I've got some people taking a couple of good. Good about yourself. Yeah, family should be ripped apart. That kind of energy. Like we should rip people apart from their families. Are you a man?
Wow. Wow, is that a question? Wow. Okay.
How do you feel about ripping people from their families? Does that feel good? Sir, I need to move. KKK.
Why are you calling a woman a man? I mean, what kind of a guy does that? Fucking house nigga, bitch. A warning for what, sir? A warning for what?
Warning to quit following our vehicle.
Because?
Because we're conducting law enforcement operations.
Yes, and we're allowed to film you doing those law enforcement operations. We still have a First Amendment, sir. We are not impeding your operations. We're merely filming them.
Now you are interfering with our operations, so do not continue to follow.
We're pressed. We're pressed. We can follow you.
Oh, now she a First Amendment auditor. Come on.
Are you trying to get rid of the First Amendment?
We have a Lighthouse investigation update for you. Federal prosecutors filing criminal charges against this man, former Milwaukee businessman Joseph Nantoma, accusing him of running a fake fix-and-flip real estate scheme.
And I've learned Nantoma was arrested in Florida late last week. He's been denied bail, and a judge has now ordered that he be transferred to Wisconsin. I've been uncovering an alleged trail of fraud by Nantoma going back to 2024. Since then, he's been civilly sued by former investors and the Securities and Exchange Commission. This new criminal complaint is the federal government laying out how they say Nantoma deceived investors, misused money, and used interstate wire communications like bank transfers to do it.
Those damn Africans.
A
man.
newly filed criminal complaint reveals the FBI has been investigating Joseph Nantoma since February of 2025 and alleges he ran the fix-and-flip real estate scheme through 4 LLCs, spending a significant portion of investor funds on vehicles and boats, jewelry and luxury travel, even Ponzi-style repayments to earlier investors. A financial analysis by the FBI found at least 32 individuals and businesses invested over $1.9 million with Nantoma between 2020 and 2024. Axe Point Law in Milwaukee has filed nearly 24 civil lawsuits on behalf of those investors.
These are real people. They may be identified as victim 1, victim 2, victim 3, victim 4. I know them by name. I know their stories. I know what they've had to forego, what they've had to go through, and so we intend to ensure that the humanity and the real human loss of all of this remains at the forefront of this of the entire case and the situation.
Over the course of a year, we've tried to track Nantoma down, visiting home and office addresses, calling and emailing. He responded once, writing in part, "I have never stolen any investors' funds." I've spoken to several former investors, including this couple, who lost more than $100,000, shattering their retirement dreams.
I would never call anyone the devil. He's the devil.
After hearing the news of Nantoma's arrest, they tell me they're relieved, hoping it protects others.
This certainly feels like a step toward justice for your clients. But in terms of being made whole again from the financial losses, is that going to be possible in the future?
We don't know. It may or may not be. And I think one of the things the government would likely pursue, if there are any assets, there probably will be forfeiture actions to try to compensate these clients.
Wow, so this criminal complaint is really focusing on that single allegation of wire fraud, but the indictment is still to come. What do we expect with that?
Well, that big detailed charging document, the indictment is still to come in federal cases. An indictment must generally be filed within 30 days of an arrest, so the clock has started here, and TMJ4 will be following updates on this case.
All right, good to know, Andrea. Thank you.
Canada has deported 366 Nigerians between January and October 2025 as the country intensifies its immigration enforcement at the fastest pace in more than a decade. Official data obtained from the Canada Border Services Agency, CBSA, shows that in addition to those already deported, 974 Nigerians are currently listed as removal in progress, meaning they are awaiting deportation from Canada. The statistics, last updated on November 25, 2025, placed Nigeria 9th among the top 10 nationalities deported from Canada this year. Nigeria also ranks 5th among countries with the highest number of individuals awaiting removal. A review of the data shows that Nigerian deportations have fluctuated over the years. In 2019, Canada deported 339 Nigerians, That number dropped to 302 inches. 2020, 242 inches 2021, and 199 inches 2022. Nigeria did not appear in the top 10 deportation list in 2023 and 2024, but returned in 2025, with 366 removals recorded in just 10 months, an 8% increase compared to 2019. The deportations come amid what Canadian authorities describe as an aggressive immigration crackdown. The CBSA is now removing nearly 400 foreign nationals every week, the highest rate recorded in over a decade. In the 2024-2025 fiscal year, Canada deported 18,048 people, spending an estimated $78 million on removal operations. Under Canada's Immigration and Refugee Protection Act, the CBSA is legally required to remove any foreign national with an enforceable removal order. Individuals may be deemed inadmissible for several reasons, including security concerns, criminal activity, organized crime, misrepresentation, health issues, financial reasons, human or international rights violations, or failure to comply with immigration rules. According to the data, about 83% of those deported are failed refugee claimants whose asylum applications were denied. Criminality accounts for approximately 4% of total removals.
Oh, so their asylee scam statuses are also being denied in Canada, not just the great USA? Interesting.
Canadian law recognizes three types of removal orders. A departure order requires an individual to leave Canada within 30 days.
Damn.
An exclusion order bars re-entry for 1 to 5 years.
Wait. Let's pause this for 1 second. Nah. Let me chop it up with the fam. Pause this real fast. All right. So I did my like I said before, it's like 22 degrees, something like that. That's considered warm. Like I actually did my daily walk. Matter of fact, the whole time I was live, that's how long it takes to get to where I was in the store for a little while looking for stuff. But you get what I'm saying? I walked to the store, walking back to my daily walk. My first time in about 2 weeks, because it was just like 4 degrees, 0 degrees. You dig? But I ain't lying. Yeah. We out here. I ain't lying. Definitely on some old 23 degrees. This is considered warm. But Nigerians being deported. Oh, that sounds familiar. You dig? Like a broken record. But what I was saying earlier with the Karens, where was the Karen energy for justice against tyranny during the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s? We were getting shot down, hosed down by dogs. Where was the Karen energy? Can anybody find the Karen energy? But they got this unconditional love for the Hispanic community. But it's a total disconnection. It's a total emotional disconnection when it comes to FBAs. They are defending against illegal immigrants who have deportation statuses. The judge ruled that they should be deported, out the country because they either came here legally, but their status got rejected for whatever reason, but they're illegal now, or they came into the country illegally from the beginning. Doesn't matter how they got here, they're illegal now. Their status is illegal, and there's warrants for their deportation. Karens want to defend somebody's illegal status. We are legal citizens whose rights are being violated. There's no debate. Oh no, that person that they deported or arrested, oh my God, he was actually a citizen. He was not an illegal. No, no, no. Well, that's a debate. That's debatable. Oh, they're targeting illegal, pretending they're illegal. Okay, they're debatable. But when they were targeting us, we were all legal. That was not debatable. Where was the Karen energy, family? Where was the Karen energy against legal citizens whose rights are being violated simply because we are from the lineage? We're foundational Black Americans, Adolfs, Freedmen. That's why we were being our rights being violated, and not just violated. We were being tortured, arrested, jailed, shot down, hosed down, denied housing, employment, a whole bunch of stuff. Where was the Karen energy? In fact, the Karens provoked it. The Karens are the reason why Black Wall Street was ultimately looted and burned down and bombs dropped on it. Rosewood was burned down because of Karens. So Karen's always been an enemy to FBA, but they are a friend of illegal immigrants, preferably Hispanic ones. I find that interesting. Now all of a sudden they care about somebody's rights. When you care, no, there's something there, and I wonder, and that something is anybody's guess. Why are they so? And you know they're probably liberals, right? So it's like, what? What can be a reason why they want so many illegals in the country? And it's a different story if they're like deporting legal immigrants. They're deporting illegals. Why? How does a Karen benefit from an illegal immigrant staying in the country? That is something. Now, again, it's anybody's guess. Your guess isn't the answer. Your guess isn't a fact, right? And neither is mine. But there's nothing wrong with proposing our guesses. But just know it's not a fact, right? Oh, I know why. Yeah, sure you do. I got the unsealed document. All these conspiracy theories coming out. But nah, like that's something that we should brainstorm ideas. Like, why? Again, like, don't just because you got an idea doesn't mean it's a fact. Because once you say I know why, the burden of proof and your facts or your so-called facts are supposed to be held to scrutiny. You got to answer to any questions we might have. So be careful, put yourself in that chop block. Just say, hey, I got an idea, I got a possible reason why. Well, once you say I know the answer, okay, well, I'm not repeating that shit until I scrutinize it first, until I vet it, until I put you in the hot seat and ask you tough questions. Okay, but that's wild. That is wild, family. Okay, where the hell is what connection does Karen's have with illegal, not just any immigrant, illegal immigrants? What are they doing for the Karens? I'm telling you, family, when something like this happens, you got to think of not something brand new, because white supremacists, suspected white supremacists don't do something brand new. They repeat something old. So it's like, what? They use these guys to gentrify us because we know they're a buffer when it comes to gentrifying us, right? Stats, like, are they there to? Because we know illegals for sure take our jobs. That's 100% facts. Oh, how are they taking your jobs? Oh, you want to know? And they're taking our jobs. They're taking money that's allocated for us, minority legal citizens. That's in need of assistance, they got their hand in that cookie jar. I showed you the percentage of welfare, 67% immigrants compared to 30-something percent Americans, not just black, but Americans, period. They like doubled us on welfare. But so all of these are facts. Jobs, they help gentrify us, resources go their way. And you know what's crazy is that like you can't in this country, you're not supposed to discriminate on resources, right? As an American citizen, right? They can't give something to black people, they say based on race, or white people based on race, but they can give something to illegals that we can't get. Though somebody pointed out the money for the ESL programs, right? And to get them there, they'll pay for transportation. Who provides that? Who provides that transportation? Immigrants. Who does this? Immigrants. So like it's like a revolving money siphoning door where like they got it on lock. But family, really, really think about why is there an undying love? Karens, I'm saying Karens. Why do Karens have an undying love for illegal immigrants, but have a dying love for Foundation Black Americans? It's the total opposite. Remember, they are protecting illegal immigrants while they call the cops on kids, according to their words, kids selling lemonade illegally. So one illegal act from a grown-up who's potentially violent, you know, because a lot of those arrests, some of those people are violent. Some people with the cartel, like the cameras blowing the whistle, they don't know why that person's being picked up. The ICE agents don't disclose, you know, the reason why this person, the reason for the warrant. They have no idea. This is just a person who's non-violent, non-criminal, just illegally here and got a judgment to be deported. Or if this person, family, I gotta show y'all this. I'm sorry. I gotta show you this. This could never happen. So my city is gentrified. Let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all something. Let me show you something. Lineage. How do I? Okay, there we go. Let me show you this. As you're walking, they block the whole sidewalk. Look at this. Whole shit blocked. All the way to the street. Now you know you cannot. The whole shit blocked off. You got to go around. If you got a stroller, if you got a stroller, you and your kids in the street because they blocked off the sidewalk. Family, this again, my city's been gentrified. This could have never happened when it was all black. All type of fines, all type of fines. Your car probably being towed. All type of tickets. Family, they went hard on FBA populated cities that did that. You wouldn't dare do that in all FBA city. You wouldn't dare do that. That's a guaranteed ticket, fine, a whole bunch of stuff. City violation, fine, all type of shit. They do this all throughout the community, family. You see the snow, right? Let me show you the snow. I should have showed y'all sidewalks. All right, now look. Now this sidewalk is shoveled pretty good. Family, I should have showed y'all where snow's barely shoveled. Some places snow is barely shoveled. That could never have happened when this city was black populated. If your sidewalk can look like this, you were getting fined. It had to be totally clear like this. I could show you in certain as I was walking, I should have cut my camera. I can show y'all. Well, first of all, I got a video of sidewalks not being shoveled at all for like a whole week and a half. You had to walk in the street. No fines, nobody say shit. No fines, nobody say shit in an all Hispanic community. Like these guys get away with everything. But for us, Foundation Black Americans, it'll be fines all throughout the goddamn. So now I'm gonna show you a case in point, which can never happen when this city is ran by Black Americans. This really can never happen. See the sidewalk, see I get narrow? This can never happen. This can never happen. You get a knock on your door. This can never happen. You'll get a knock on your door, family. So now this is gonna cause, so now if somebody was coming the other way, this would cause one of us to either wait or get in the snow. That could have never happened in a all-ran Foundation Black American city. We would get fined, man. I'm telling you, our sidewalks were shovel complete. Anybody who is in an all-black city, not a town where cops barely come, but a city. As George Macon. In Philly, some type of city, Baltimore City, you couldn't do that. Man, you get a knock on your door, and everybody and mother is ready to give you a fine and threaten to evict you or give the person you're renting from a fine. He got to evict you, or they got to put that in the rent. I mean, these folks, family, I'm gonna start. I don't know if I want to do it, but the shoveling out here is horrible. Even the streets, horrible. Even the streets, horrible. I one time, family, they towed my car because I didn't shovel it out in like 2-3 days. I ain't gonna lie, I was on some bullshit. But what we're saying is, why don't the law apply evenly? I admit I was on some bullshit, but why some lazy bullshit? But why I was like 20 something. Why doesn't the law apply evenly? And this is the problem we're raising. The school to prison pipeline. Black kids get punished more than anybody else, more severely, more harshly. The judicial disparity in judging and sentencing us, disparities. Black male get a longer, harsher sentence for the same crime as white counterpart. Same background, same job or unemployment situation, same, kids or no kids, same profile. The Foundation Black American get a harsher punishment, higher fine than his white counterpart. This is our argument. We saying, why don't the laws ever apply equally? They don't. The policies, the rules, they don't apply. The ordinances, they don't apply evenly. Let me get back to the video. Get back to the video. Select the audio. Okay. We're ready. Go back to my playlist. Where was I? Yeah, stop. Let me doing it. I was right here. No.
Deed theft.
No, I was not there. I believe I was here.
Canada has deported 300.
Let's get past that.
We're starting tonight with self-deportation. 5 Investigates is taking us inside the immigration crackdown in Minnesota and behind closed doors where some families are considering a choice once thought impossible. Investigative reporter Eric Rasmussen spent weeks following one of these families, and you also uncovered new questions about a taxpayer funded program to convince people to leave the country.
Right, Kevin. You know, Carlos Albuja and his family came here to Minnesota fleeing gang violence in Ecuador. But even with pending asylum cases, the U.S. government was still seeking to deport them. So they suddenly found themselves choosing between two bad options.
I love you, Minneapolis.
We were there.
I love you.
When Carlos Albuja and his family fled the Twin Cities in the middle of the night. So where does everybody sleep? And weeks earlier.
Right here.
In this basement apartment in Minneapolis. Once a safe space for his 3 daughters and his wife, thousands of miles from home in Guayaquil, Ecuador.
¿Tienes miedo todavía? You're still afraid of this?
Exactamente. No puedo moverme.
Albuja's breaking point recorded on his phone last month, blocked by federal agents on his way to work, steps away from where Renee Good was just killed minutes earlier.
¿Qué estabas pensando en ese momento? What were you thinking at that moment?
Pues en ese momento traté de relajarme.
I was trying to stay relaxed, to stay calm, he told me in Spanish.
Fueron unos 25 minutos más largos de mi vida.
Those were about the longest 25 minutes of my life.
No. Whoa.
A friend convinced agents to let Albuja continue on, but suddenly he was considering a once unthinkable option.
Are you an illegal alien in the United States?
This is an actual video by the Department of Homeland Security.
Then DHS has the best holiday deal of your life. It's the CBP Home app.
The CBP Home app, part of a new program by the Trump administration encouraging undocumented immigrants to self-deport.
Any illegal alien can simply show up at an airport and receive a free flight out of our country.
But people such as Albuja and others report it's not that simple.
Anecdotally, I've heard that it's kind of hit or miss.
Lisa Salazar is an immigration attorney with Southern Minnesota Regional Legal Services. Despite advertised exit bonuses of $1,000 or even $2,600, success stories are hard to find. You don't have any clients who have used this yet?
No, I've had clients asking about it, but to my knowledge, none of my clients have actually used it yet.
We asked the Department of Homeland Security for state-by-state data. DHS said it didn't have any specifics for Minnesota, but a spokesperson claimed tens of thousands of illegal aliens have utilized the CBP Home app. When I followed up to ask how many have actually received those exit bonuses, no response.
¿Cómo fue tu experiencia con la aplicación CBP Home? What was your experience with this app, this program?
Te puedo decir que yo intenté comunicarme con ellos.
I tried to communicate with them, he said, but I became afraid again that they would still arrest me and take me away from my wife and daughters. So 10 days ago, they all rode together to the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. Their lives in 13 pieces of luggage and 5 one-way tickets to Ecuador on their own dime.
I love you. I love you.
A final goodbye to the neighbor who helped keep them safe. Minutes before boarding, Albuja shared this message with me in English.
I love you. This my life, Minnesota. I love you.
We followed up, and tonight Albuja and his family, we're told, are back in Ecuador. He told me they will now look for another country willing to accept them. And as Kevin, as we press DHS for more hard numbers in all of this, a spokesperson says 2 million people that they describe as illegal immigrants have left the United States, they say, since the beginning of last year.
Unbelievable choice to make.
And a lot of these stories are playing out right now.
Okay, that's Eric Rasmussen from 5 Investigates.
A used car broker who allegedly duped customers by tampering with odometers has turned himself in at the Gwinnett County Jail.
The arrest warrant follows a months-long investigation by consumer investigator Better Call Harry. He joins us live here in the studio. So, Harry, what can you tell us about this?
Well, Dennis S. Lewis with DD Auto Brokers voluntarily turned himself in. He admitted to us that sometimes mileages on his listings are not right, but says he explains it to customers. Not according to the customers who allege he changed the odometers and didn't say a word.
You loved the car.
I did.
And you were like, I'm buying this car.
Yeah.
That is a new car smile. And here it is, the day Shadeja Johnson paid Dennis Lewis, the owner of DD Auto Brokers, $6,400 for a 2013 Honda Ridgeline. Her mom, Latrice, found the listing on Facebook Marketplace.
And I seen a Honda with great mileage, and I was like, oh God, this is the right thing.
The ad listed the truck with 153,000 miles, but here's the problem. Facebook Marketplace does not require a vehicle identification number. If there's no VIN, buyers can't pull a vehicle history report to verify the information. On day 2, the Johnsons were at a mechanic with a check engine light.
And he was like, the gauge is reading on here. He was like, when you just bought this car? I said, literally yesterday. And he said,
family, if they got the nerve, and these African immigrants, they have the nerve to call in our spaces and ask us, what's the end game? They like to ask us, what is the end game? My guy, what is your end game to this scamming stuff? What is your end game to scamming?
It had 2 bad catalytic converters, and then they got the Carfax. The Honda's odometer showed 153,000 miles, but not according to the Carfax report. A recent emissions test documented 285,000 miles, nearly double. Mom demanded a refund, and she got it. Mr. Lewis admitted sometimes the mileage is wrong, like when he replaces an engine.
But usually when a customer come out, you have to explain to them that the mileage is not right. You got to explain it to them. But what they need to do, they need to...
Is there any doubt that he's not FBA? This is just their culture. This is the African way. West African way. Nigerian African way.
Mr. Lewis admitted sometimes the mileage is wrong, like when he replaces an engine.
But usually when a customer come out, you have to explain to them.
We're starting tonight with...
Wait, hold up. Not just the West African way.
A used car...
We're starting tonight with...
My phone is just tripping.
A used car broker who allegedly duped customers...
My phone was just tripping. Because I don't forget, I broke it one time when I was going live. Look at this. It's bugging the hell out. I broke it one time going live. It fell out my pocket. I didn't know. It was in the middle of the street because it snowed and you couldn't walk on the sidewalks. Nobody shuffled, remember? Nobody shoveled. I said shuffle. Nobody shoveled, remember? So I was forced to be in the street. And it fell out my pocket. And by the time I realized not with me anymore because my headset disconnected, I went back and cars rolled over it. So it'd be tripping sometimes.
Sometimes the mileage is wrong. 185,000 miles, nearly double. Mom demanded a refund, and she got it. Mr. Lewis admitted sometimes the mileage is wrong, like when he replaces an engine.
But usually when a customer come out, you have to explain to them that the mileage is not right. You got to explain it to them. But what they need to do, they need to post it online and says the mileage. I understand where you're coming from.
He said he took down the ad, but we found it again with the same mileage discrepancy. And it wasn't the only one. Carfax provided us reports for...
Family, deport this guy. He got to be deported. He took it down and put it back in his other cars. What's the end game?
Several other cars for sale, and we found more odometer discrepancies, like this 2006 Lexus RX, advertised with 155,000 miles. But look at this. The Carfax shows 232,000 miles. That's a 77,000 mile difference. After the story aired, Gwinnett County Police launched their own investigation. Have you done cases like this before? Detective Torrin Huff dug into other complaints about DD Auto Brokers and tracked down customers who'd filed police reports.
None of them mentioned that it was disclosed to them that there was an odometer rollback when they purchased their vehicles, which is a pretty big red flag when it was checked on some of the bill of sales.
The detective gave Lewis 2 months to hand over his business records.
So you gave him plenty of time.
Ample time.
And what happened?
He never showed, he never called me, he never produced the records. I even gave him a last chance notice. It was about a week notice to produce the records, and he still didn't.
To get a warrant, it would take someone willing to press charges. Say hello to John Groneman from Opelika, Alabama.
I was car hunting for about a month. I started looking at a lot of cars on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. I didn't even know there'd be so many.
Remember the Lexus? John bought it.
You know, I think with this one being in Atlanta.
Remember the Lexus? John bought it. Damn, John.
And it was like a 2-hour drive and 2-hour back. And I've been searching for a month and I was getting really tired of it. I think I just wanted to get it over with. And it was a great looking car.
He paid $3,100 based on the lower mileage, but when his temporary tag expired, he got suspicious. So he asked ChatGPT about DD Auto Brokers, and guess whose story popped up?
Consumer investigator Better Call Harry shares what he uncovered.
Hard to believe.
Oh, here's the Lexus.
And then a list started scrolling up.
Sheesh.
And I paused it and looked, and mine was the first one on the list. And I think for the next 5 hours, I felt pretty nauseous.
He called the Gwinnett County Police Department and filed a report. Detective Huff said he had enough to get a warrant. Lewis faces charges of odometer fraud, false advertising, and failure to produce his business.
That sounds like a play from the Marcus Garvey playbook.
Records. Police Department and filed a report. Detective Huff said he had enough to get a warrant. Lewis faces charges of odometer fraud, false advertising, and failure to produce his business records.
He does have active warrants, which means he will have to get booked into the Gwinnett County Jail. There are fines associated with it as well, but they are all misdemeanors at this point.
By the way, just like he did for the Johnsons, Mr. Lewis offered John a refund, but John turned it down. He is keeping the car he loves, and he's moving forward with charges to make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else.
There are a lot of people right now that can't afford to be putting money into repairs. And it really, that's the main reason I want to bring charges and get them prosecuted, because I don't want them doing it to other people.
Okay, so Mr. Lewis did not respond to our calls about the warrant, but days later, he turned himself in. Here's the thing. Carfax says odometer fraud is a huge problem, estimating there are nearly 2.5 million cars on the road with tampered odometers.
That is a crazy number, Harry, and you really feel for the people that you interviewed in this piece, these buyers. But what can buyers do if they're looking for a used car to avoid a situation like this?
You know, I brought this up before, and they didn't respond to us. Facebook Marketplace, we asked them why they don't require VINs for their listings. Yeah. They do not require it, and they didn't answer or explain why. But if the seller doesn't list a VIN in the ad, well, that's a huge red flag right there. But even if they do, the Carfax or the auto check or whatever auto history report you pull, it may not catch it. If the car had regular emissions testing, like in Metro Atlanta, it should be, the correct mileage should be on the report. But the best way to verify the mileage is by taking that car to a mechanic, pay for a pre-purchase inspection, and let them look for any problems. In the studio, I'm Better Call Harry. Atlanta News First investigates.
Now, your top 7 at 7.
I'm Atlanta News First anchor Wale.
Deed theft, where homeowners are essentially tricked out of their properties.
Okay, I'm talking on mute. So anyway, family, I was just saying, this just a heartfelt live. It's no fun. It's no fancy thumbnails. I'm sharing from my phone. You dig? It is what it is. No fancy title. If you super chatted, I apologize. I probably won't be able to see it until I stop sharing. So forgive me there. If you super chat, I didn't post the cash app. Like again, just a heartfelt live, no agenda, but the cash app is $ unbiased Ron in case somebody's feeling charitable. But I just want to talk to y'all tonight. Big. So deed theft is a serious crime that white supremacists have been practicing against foundation Black Americans for generations, many generations. Hold on. So the correct term is heirs property. So this normally happens when or like a mother or a grandfather owns a home and does not write a will, and just so it naturally goes to the descendants, right? That's why it's called heirs property. It's a property for the heirs. The problem is because there is no will left, like everybody just own it evenly. Like nobody can prohibit or restrict each other from the property. Okay. Everybody got a stake in it and everybody got a say so of how it's dealt with, who lives there. Like nobody has, authority over anybody else. This is a problem. So what a developer would do, a developer would track down those descendants who have a stake in the property, who's an heir to the property, and they will look for the one who's the furthest from the property. So let's say if the property is in Virginia and there's relatives in New York, North Carolina, your siblings in Maryland, and there's one in Utah or Las Vegas, let's say California. Well, they're going to contact the heir that lives in California because they're less likely to have emotional ties, they're less likely to visit, they're less likely to want anything to do with it. So what they'll do is they'll ask for, a price to buy their piece of the property, their heir. Okay. And then once they fall for that, offer maybe $700, $1,000, who knows, something like once they fall for that, that developer then can put the entire property on the auction block. That one person can do that. It's called heirs property, deed theft, however you want to name it. They can do that by the law. And they did that to so many Black Americans from the lineage. Okay. So many got scammed out of their home that way, that little clause. One person, he buys their heirs value, their heir stake, and he can so they put an auction by saying, hey, I want to buy this whole thing. And whoever can't outbid them, it goes to auction. And look, and again, when they at one point, family, the heirs property, the person who say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna buy the whole thing. Uh, the rest of the siblings, the rest of the heirs don't get a month to a year notice, like to like get ready for the auction. This auction can come within a week, days, so there's no amount of time to save your dough to like put a worthy auction bid in there. So families Black Americans, we go through a lot. A lot of us ain't got a lot saved. Systemic racism stopped that from happening. So we ain't got a lot saved. So that's why like the auction is so fast. It's like a whole scam. So you don't have a lot to put down to bid on the property. So when it's in court, you're talking about I got 300. He's saying, yo, 300. You guys ever play Monopoly when somebody can't pay something and can't pay their rent and they're out of the game, their property goes to the auction and the other players get to auction bid on. No, I'm sorry. If you land on a property, you don't want to buy it. The real rules to Monopoly is that it's auction. So everybody start bidding on the property. Highest bidder wins, obviously. So that's what happens with this. Okay. And the relatives, because they get a short notice about the auction sale, they don't have a lot of money saved up. And if they did, they still couldn't compete with a developer. But the developer gets it on pennies on a dime, because you got 300, another person got 3,500. Well, let's just say 300 and 1,000. So he's like, oh shit, it's easy. He was willing to spend 15,000 to get this property, 20,000. The highest bid out there is 1,500. Oh man, you guys play you guys watched what was that? Come on down to the Price is Right. Is that it? Yeah, Price is Right. You guys played that. You talking about 1,500? You're gonna say 1,501. You're gonna say 1,550. So he's buying the property from pennies on a dime, all because that one heir sold their share. And he gets to send it to auction and challenge everybody to buy it. So that's called heirs property. That's been going on in our communities because we're not on code. We're on code now because we were not on code then. You know, when it happened to an individual, it just happened to an individual. Nobody knew because we were not on code. Now we're on code. So when something savage happened to us, we pretty much signal boost that message across the lineage. And now we all aware, like, hey, this is happening over here. And we got to do that, family. We got to do that now. So if there's something going on in your community where, you know, they're, you know, like the same way the Karens blow the whistle on Haiti, we got to start saying, hey, they're targeting so-and-so, so-and-so. They're doing a sting. They're doing this. FBAs, watch out. They're doing DUI checks. Watch out. You know what I mean? Whatever. Or there's a job listing for firemen, or this job, but they got resources in this neighborhood. If you live there, you might want to check them out, because like that's how we should be doing that. But we weren't doing it then. So this heir property, these deed thefts that was going on throughout the lineage, we never knew. Like they were just picking us apart. Researching another home. Who's the heirs? Okay, cool. Same thing. Let me track the furthest. Let me track the one who lives the furthest and buy that portion pennies on a dollar, because they have no emotional ties. And, you know what I mean? And who can't use 1,500 for a piece of the property you're not using, and you don't know that he can do that. You don't know that. You just think, that house ain't going nowhere. Nobody want to do nothing with it. It's abandoned, collecting dust. All right, cool. 1,500. Yeah, you can take my share. I done had my share for 7 years, and that house sitting there dead because nobody want to do nothing with it. Nobody want to work with each other to build it up. So man, it's just take this headache from me. 1,500, $500, and then he auctioned the whole thing. So that is called heirs property. So that's what's happening with these folks, deed theft.
Has been a pervasive problem for a few years now, and now this group is rallying outside the governor's office demanding that she do something about it.
My father and I worked really hard. We scraped and we saved and we purchased our home legally and legitimately.
Rachel Cyprian was shaking mad as she spoke with us outside the governor's office about the devastating impact of her 15-year fight to reclaim ownership of her Brooklyn home following deed theft.
It leads to homelessness. It leads to depression. It leads to all sorts of failures. Here we are, Black people, in this country now for over 400 years, and we're constantly.
Notice there are no Karens out there blowing whistles.
Starting from square one.
Deed theft is when a property's title is transferred away from the rightful owner, generally due to deceptive or predatory tactics. Frequently, the targets are seniors and communities of color.
What do we want? Deed theft. When do we want it?
Now, Brooklyn City Councilman Chio Say is pressing the governor to put a moratorium on evictions where there's a deed theft case pending or being investigated.
We are pleading to the governor, to the head of the state, to do right by all of us, to do right by Black New Yorkers, and to do your job.
During the moratorium, Chio Say and other elected leaders are demanding legislative fixes, like more support for homeowners in eviction court, special investigative units inside district attorneys' offices, a public database of shell companies associated with deed theft, and more. In response, a spokeswoman for the governor's office did not mention an immediate moratorium, but said the governor has taken a number of steps to push back against deed theft. Quote, no New Yorker should be cheated out of the opportunity to keep their home, which is why Governor Hochul has proposed $40 million in her state budget for the Homeowner Protection Program, and why she has led the way in enacting strong protections to empower homeowners and crack down on illegal deed theft. But advocates say they will press on for more reform and that immediate moratorium.
Moratorium now! Moratorium now!
Governor Hochul, it is now at your door.
Yes. Right.
What are you going to do to keep black families in their home? That's it. That's all I want to hear about.
Between 2014 and 2023, there have been roughly 3,500 complaints of deed theft in New York City alone. So we will continue following these proposals and continue to follow up with the governor's office and councilman's office as this moves forward. In Midtown, Henry Rossoff, Pix 11 News.
Former Des Moines school super.
So that's why I say, family, when they say our enemy, I always ask, who's our enemy? Because we're being scammed by folks who live in Africa, Africans. We're being scammed by Europeans. Deed theft here, auto sales there. Like, yo, which one of y'all are our friend? Wow, the enemy, the colonizer. Wait, hold on. Is this the kettle called a pot black? Like, both y'all the enemies. Y'all forgot? Y'all sold us and bought us. And now y'all both scamming us. Remember this guy right here?
Superintendent pleaded guilty in federal court today to lying about employment details and for possessing a gun as an illegal alien.
And he will find out how much prison time he will serve in May. KCCI senior reporter Todd Megel was in court today for the plea hearing. Todd?
As Stacey, Ben, there are no cameras allowed in federal court, but I can say that Roberts looked and sounded the same as he did before his arrest back in September. Now, the big difference, he was dressed in the green and gray striped jail uniform that he wears as an inmate in the Polk County Jail. 2 federal marshals escorted Ian Roberts into the courtroom at the new federal courthouse downtown Thursday morning. The courtroom was filled with some of Roberts' friends. We also noticed about a dozen federal agents dressed in plain clothes in the audience. The judge asked Roberts to confirm he is pleading guilty to 2 federal charges. He spoke loudly and clearly, saying he did make a false statement to the Des Moines School Board in 2023 that he was a U.S. citizen, so they would hire him as a superintendent. He also pleaded guilty to possessing 3 firearms as an illegal alien. We spoke with Roberts' attorney, Alfredo Parrish, outside the courthouse after the hearing. Why did he plead guilty?
I won't go into that because he said he was guilty. Yeah, he had done these things. I mean, they don't thrill you, but these are things that he did. He wants to accept responsibility for it.
And what does the guilty plea get him?
We have to wait to sentencing.
We asked Professor Allison Guernsey about Roberts' guilty plea. She's a federal defense expert at the University of Iowa College of Law.
The benefit of the bargain is going to be that the government is agreeing not to bring any additional charges because they don't agree to dismiss any of the 2 charges that he's currently facing.
Court documents show a person believed to be Roberts' wife bought him a gun in 2019. Roberts was considered an ICE fugitive because he was subject to a final removal order issued in 2024. The plea deal says there would be no further federal prosecutions in the Southern District of Iowa against Roberts or other persons.
I would say this is not one of the happiest moments of my legal career, which has been pretty long.
Parrish is used to his clients winning in court. He told the judge how he would have defended Roberts if he had not pleaded guilty, but that is not to be.
Sentencing will be the day that will be most important, that we will bring out, we believe, factors that could impact his sentencing.
We also asked Professor Guernsey about when or if Roberts could be deported.
He will be required to serve that federal sentence before immigration is allowed to take custody of him and put him through the immigration process.
Now, Roberts will make another appearance in federal court on May 29th. Now, on that day, a different federal judge will rule on accepting the guilty pleas offered today. That same judge will also impose the sentence for charges. It's up to 5 years for the false statements and up to 15 years for the gun charges. And now Roberts remains in the Polk County Jail. Stacey.
Todd, thank you.
What is illegal and unusual?
Bye, Felicia.
discoveries at Detroit Metro Airport.
Yeah, bush meat. That's meat from rats, bats, baboons, and more. And we got.
Okay, so when we say bush meat and they act like we're being divisive, xenophobic, no, they really eat bush meat. Listen.
Your attention, the feds aren't monkeying around with this. Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack is live at the airport. Jessica, do explain.
Yeah, we need some context here, right,
fired.
Rup and Amy? So this is crazy. Customs and Border Protection, they seized back-to-back bushmeat smugglers here at DTW. Now, the first one, it was 11 pounds of rodent meat in someone's luggage. And a couple days later, they found 52 pounds of monkey meat stacked away. We had to ask passengers what they thought.
Oh, that's gross.
The faces say it all.
Oh, well.
What do you think of that?
That's disgusting.
Back-to-back seizures of bushmeat at Detroit Metro Airport in 1 week. First, 11 pounds of rodent meat in the bags of a passenger coming from Togo in West Africa.
That is not appetizing at all, I would say. I do like red meat, though.
And next up, the headliner,
Oh, that's coming from Togo in West Africa. Okay, is this news from Detroit? Fox 2 Detroit, are they being divisive, xenophobic for pointing out that bushmeat was being smuggled into the United States so they can have it in the restaurants? That's why I don't eat Listen, I'm good. I never ate African food prepared from African, and I never will. I'm not messing with I'm not monkeying around. I'm not monkeying around with their food.
Customs and Border Protection uncovering 52 pounds of primate meat.
That's a lot of monkey meat. My goodness.
The passenger claimed it as antelope meat, but the monkey meat coming from Central Africa, possibly this little guy or the sun-tailed monkey.
It looks tasty.
You're lying.
No, it looks good.
You'd eat that?
I'd eat it.
You're kidding.
I'm kidding.
Customs and Border Protection says primate seizures are very rare. What's the weirdest thing in your bag right now?
No comment.
We had to ask. What's the craziest thing you've eaten?
The craziest thing I probably ever eaten was my wife's meatloaf. I compare that to the monkeys.
Wait, let's show the wife. Let's show the wife right there. We actually found someone who's eaten monkey.
It's horrible.
What does monkey meat taste like?
Honestly, it tastes like horse.
Really? The rodent packer and the monkey meat smuggler slap with a $300 fine each. The not so funny part, this kind of bushmeat has a serious risk of carrying some scary diseases which can wreak havoc in humans.
And I know all cultures and customs, they have different foods that they eat, but it's not something that appeals to me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yes, that's how HIV got started. That monkey meat.
This could all be a delicacy somewhere else, but our unofficial poll here at DTW, it was not a delicacy to these passengers. Now, Customs and Border Protection says that they find all kinds of things. They found some live snails recently, animal skulls, and in most cases, it's not malicious. It's a misunderstanding. Reporting live in Romulus, Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
And Jess, that's exactly what I was going to ask you. In these two cases, these sort of back-to-back cases, did the folks trying to bring this in know that they weren't supposed to have it? Were they trying to smuggle it into Metro Airport, or did they just have it in their bag because they were coming to visit and giving someone a delicacy gift?
Yeah, interesting gift there. In the case with the rodents, it sounds like it was a misunderstanding. But in case of those monkeys, if you remember from this story, 52 pounds of that, they said it was antelope, not primate. So it does sound like something maybe a little nefarious going on with that one.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you so much for that one. Jessica Dupnack, always interesting.
A nonprofit tied to Mayor Brandon Scott's wife stopped operations after receiving roughly $100,000 taxpayer dollars.
Patrick Hoff from our Spotlight on Maryland team investigates the unanswered questions about whether those taxpayer funds will be returned.
The fabulous, phenomenal, brilliant, and beautiful women of Be More Empowered who are empowering. Yeah, let's clap. There we go.
That was Mayor Brandon Scott at a July 2023 press conference where he praised leaders of a nonprofit awarded $80,000 as a part of a taxpayer-funded program. What he didn't mention was that one of those leaders he praised was his then girlfriend and now wife. Our investigation found that Mrs. Scott's employer received an influx of taxpayer money.
Yeah, he didn't look FBA.
shortly after pairing up with the mayor. And now that organization is pausing operations. Mrs. Scott started working as the director of operations for Be More Empowered in September 2021. She started dating the mayor in 2022. Her employer began to receive money through the Baltimore City government in 2023, totaling $34,950 taxpayer dollars by 2024. And that's not all. The Downtown Partnership of Baltimore awarded Be More Empowered $80,000 through a taxpayer-funded program in July 2023, a day before the Scotts went public with their relationship through a pregnancy announcement. The taxpayer-backed Baltimore Children and Youth Fund sent Be More Empowered $62,500 from July 2023 to June 2024. Meanwhile, Be More Empowered has
Could have kept that relationship on the low, and that non-FBA scam wouldn't have been exposed.
not filed a tax form since 2023, meaning it's almost a year behind its required filings with the IRS. And none of its previous tax forms mention Mrs. Scott's position or salary. Plus, Be More Empowered is listed on the Maryland government's charity database as delinquent.
So this one is a bit of a head scratcher.
That's Linda Parsons, a professor at the University of Alabama specializing in nonprofit accounting. She said Be More Empowered needs to explain how it's managing taxpayer money.
If I had taxpayer dollars and I said, I'm just going to stop what I'm doing, I would expect that the money providers would be asking me questions, and I would have to be very clear with them where their money was, how long I expected to need before I was back fully operating.
Be More Empowered did not respond to questions about whether they will return taxpayer money. Mrs. Scott lists on her LinkedIn that she stopped working at Be More Empowered in September, which was the same month the nonprofit announced an organizational pause and was sued for not paying rent. Attempts to reach Mrs. Scott for comment were unsuccessful. The mayor's office did not respond to the following questions. How did Be More Empowered spend its taxpayer money? Will you request that Be More Empowered returns the funds? Was it a conflict of interest for Baltimore City to send Be More Empowered money as the organization was employing Mayor Scott's partner? Parsons.
Oh yeah, nah, she didn't bought her Birkins bag. You know, these non-FBA feel entitled to the luxurious life.
Raised questions about Be More Empowered's ties to the mayor.
It's definitely a conflict of interest. I'm not saying that's that it's a problem necessarily, or that it's not allowed. However, when there are conflicts of interest, they need to be acknowledged. There was no communication about the conflict. There's been no communication about where the funds are. There's been, no communication about what this pause means or how long it's going to be. There's no reporting that is required. So to me, those are all giant red flags.
Be More Empowered received $25,000 from the Baltimore City government in 2023, stemming from the Federal American Rescue Plan Act. In 2024, Be More Empowered received $9,950 listed for the Youth Works program, which runs under the Mayor's Office of Employment Development. The $80,000 Be More Empowered received from the Downtown Partnership came through the Boost program, which is funded through a combination of private and public money. Mayor Scott sent $1.6 million in ARPA money to Downtown Partnerships in 2022 to help back the Boost program Be More Empowered benefited from 1 year later. A spokesman for Downtown Partnership told Spotlight on Maryland that Be More Empowered spent the $80,000 in accordance with its contract, which he said he could not provide, a point that Parsons questioned.
When you have government funds, the contract is not available is not an option. Once you agree to take government funds, whether from your city or state or federal government, it's your obligation to be as transparent as possible.
The Boost grant to Be More Empowered was intended for the organization to spend on a new office space downtown on North Howard Street. However, a previous Spotlight on Maryland investigation found they never moved into that location, instead opening an office on North Charles Street, where they were sued in September for not paying rent and since moved out. Downtown Partnership's president, Shalonda Stokes, has a salary of $317,000. Stokes' Instagram shows several photos and videos of her with Mrs. Scott, including attending a Beyonce concert together last summer in a group that also included the wife of Maryland Governor Wes Moore. A spokesman for BCYF emphasized that one of its grant...
Yeah, the scammers can't even stay away from each other. These guys, why do you think the Epstein files get so much flack? Because they're saying that they should have stayed away from each other. You got Chris Tucker in there. You got Michael Jackson. You got Donald Trump. You got all type Mick Jagger. You got Jay-Z. You got all type of people in those Epstein files, and that's what make it bad because a lot of these guys were already on some type of list of the public, on some type of government authority list, or even a conspiracy theory list. Like the public already seeing certain people as like fishy. Like there were so many conspiracy theories by Jay-Z and Beyonce so long ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, right? And now look, they just happen to be, well, he is in the Epstein files. It's like, dude, if you already got stories about you, you want to stay away from other stuff. Now, they don't have Diddy in the Epstein files. That's a good look for him. But Michael Jackson, remember, he had some stuff going on, some sketchy. Now, I'm somebody who follow his case like in and out. And, you know, I'm like, I don't know, man. It should sound crazy. And for him to be seen with Epstein and on the island, like, come on, man. Come on. That's almost confirmation. Like you already got your own things with little kids in your bed and, you know, all these little things, these rumors, and you kind of like squeezed out of that. And now you're on Epstein Island that's known for kids. It's like, yeah, I can't get Mike a pass on that one. But the point is, like, it seems like scammers and fraudsters and PDFs, they kind of just hang together. You dig? They attract to each other.
He chose to be more empowered as his fiscal sponsor. The spokesman did not respond to questions about how that money was spent and whether they'll get it back. We'll continue to track how nonprofits
Bill Clinton. That was crazy.
Spend your taxpayer dollars. For Spotlight on Maryland, I'm Patrick Huff.
I'm Pat Jackson. Thank you for watching. Here's another video to watch.
All right, we're back at 122 right now, and boy, oh boy,
another FBA update.
Latest reporting from Block Club Chicago about ex-Loretto hospital leader that's now at the center of a $300 million COVID scandal. It is just pretty mind-boggling.
Did she say 300 million or 300,000? She said 300 million? God damn, I'm a family. If I was to ever be desperate enough to be part of a money scam, I would never want to be part of some scam that large. I'm gonna be with the mayor and his wife, some 100,000, you know, nothing. There is no way in hell you're gonna get away with $300 million in a scam. No way. You might squeeze by with 80,000, 20,000, 100. Man, I would never be that desperate. 300 million and you're gonna just get away scot-free. Come on, man. They're never gonna let that money just vanish. Like I said, 180, the mayor and his wife, maybe not. 300 million, you're done.
The link here. So we had to call him in so that we could get the details from those who have been getting into the nitty-gritty themselves. Kelly Bauer from Block Club Chicago joining me now. Kelly, let me just ask you this. Did you ever see from starting the reporting on this man that we would get to this point?
Absolutely not. You know, to us, it was just a local story. We were just trying to hold a local person accountable. And now it's taken like an international turn. It's been very interesting to observe.
Yeah, so many twists and turns. I don't know if we should start with where we are right now, and then we'll kind of go back and come back. So let's go with the latest headlines here.
So the big news that we revealed this week is that Dr. Anash Ahmed, the person who's been at the center of these Loretto hospital scandals,
I don't sound like an FBA person. I'm just saying.
What?
That doesn't sound like somebody Solon, Adolf, a Senator Friedman. That doesn't sound like somebody of the lineage. I'm just saying.
Is arrested in Serbia and is still being held there,
Okay,
but
Serbia.
the U.S. government is seeking his extradition as he faces charges in the United States.
Yeah, and I mean, to hear $300 million is just like, whoa, how did we get here?
So this story started with us getting a tip from a reader about how people were being allowed to cut the vaccine line and get doses from Loretto Hospital, even though Loretto was supposed to be prioritizing them for people on the west side who were very vulnerable to COVID-19. So it started as a very simple investigation for us, just trying to make sure that doses were going to the neighbors who needed them most. And from there, we revealed more line cutting, and then we showed questionable conduct at Loretto. We found out that Mr. Anash Ahmed, who was the CFO and COO of the hospital, had given contracts to his business partner and friend and neighbor, Samir Suhail, and other questionable things like that. Separately, I also was reporting on how a lot of COVID-19 testing pop-up companies had opened up in the Chicago area, but the test results they gave seemed very flawed, sometimes outright faked. And then those stories kind of converged to this summer when we showed that Mr. Ahmed was now facing charges both in the Loretto Hospital scandal, accused of embezzling millions from the hospital, but also in the COVID pop-up story with the federal government saying he defrauded the feds of about $300 million through fake COVID testing.
I mean, what was going through your mind as this was snowballing?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing was just trying to follow all the threads of this story.
So we got the gist of it. Let's move on.
Today we have a video from Cops and Karens, and the title of the video is Possessed Immigrants Attack Flight Attendants.
No. I'm gonna save this for tomorrow. Let me go back. I'm gonna say that for tomorrow. That is y'all gonna be hollering. Let me go back here for a split second.
And there was a video of a rapper. What's her name?
Because this is something I touched on yesterday, and I think that the chat that I was capping. So I said, all right, well, let me go find the video. You know me, I pride myself for being a great researcher. So you know what's crazy? I had no idea which video he said this in. Family, just pure intuition, 100%. I had no. Sarina, she puts out 3 videos per day, basically. Okay, straight every day, even Saturday and Sunday. So I knew this was an old video. Family, I promise you, sometimes you gotta just go with your inner gut. When I start to look for this, I didn't know where to look at. I said, I gotta look through all these videos, skim through them and see which one where he said what I said, okay, about he said that that we should call ourselves different things to scatter the algorithm, so nobody can call us a hate group, a cult, poison the well, and we're all just looking crazy. We get filtered out of the algorithms online, that type of stuff. So he said, yeah, spread it thin. Go out there and say, yeah, I'm Adolf, I'm Friedman, I'm Solon, I'm of the lineage, Now, when it comes to the forums, when it comes to data, we write down FBA, we write down Financial Black Americans. But for social media, if we're talking to the public, yeah, I'm Solon. What's that? And you just describe the lineage. Oh, people from U.S. chattel slavery lineage, blah blah. Hey, no, I'm Adolf. What's that? American descendant of slavery. Oh, what's that about? Oh, the lineage. Hey, I'm Solon. What's that? The lineage. Oh, I'm Freedman, descendant of American freedom. What's that? Oh, yeah, back in 1865 when slavery was abolished, 1868, after all that, my ancestors who were enslaved and were emancipated, they were given the freedman status. They were awarded freedmen bureaus and freedmen schools, and as a way to help these people navigate the country as freedmen, because they've been enslaved their entire existence. Like they don't know what it means to be free and how to live as a free person. So it was to prepare temporary housing, food, things like that. That's the Freedmen Bureau. In case you didn't know, I know. I know. Anyway, and okay, cool. And yeah, I'm from the lineage. What's that? Oh yeah, now we the people that share all of our lineages go back to the United States, U.S. chattel slavery, blah 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 blah, and we're of the same lineage basically. and not literally, but figuratively, that we're of the same lineage in the sense that 43, if your lineage goes back to U.S. chattel slavery, you're of the U.S. chattel slavery lineage, pretty much, the ethnogenesis lineage. Yeah, so that's it. Right? I mean, but like I said, but when it comes to on paper, when it comes to what the official name going to be, that's FBA. But in conversation, you want to throw people off so you won't be tagged to this agenda to give FBA this horrible name. You just throw them off. Hey, now I'm so long. What's that? It's the same exact thing as FBA. Same exact thing. It's a matter of fact. Before I play this, let me do this. Let me see if I can do this. Let me see if I can do it from here. This might be the best way to explain it. Then I come back. I might got to go to Google. Let's see. This might be a good one. The Prince one might be a good one. She keep coming up because I defer to her a lot when I talk about when I look into the industry, the record industry, entertainment industry. I look to her videos a lot. Okay, but this ain't really what I want. I wonder if it's looking in my. I wonder if this is looking through. There we go. Umbrella comes. Okay, I think this is it right here. That might be an umbrella company. Okay. Okay, so let me first do this because this is going to be the best way to try to explain it.
Did you know that Republic Records was Billboard's top record label of 2022?
I also really love my record label.
Record labels have been around for decades, and for a long time, being signed to one meant an artist had made it in the music industry. But what does a record label actually do? Who are the teams behind the label? How do they make a profit? And how are they evolving with the changing times? This is Billboard Explains Record Labels.
Yeah, before I do that, I want to make sure that I'm where I want to be. Yeah, but why I just can't. Oh my God, it just can't spell it out for me. I type every last letter. Wow, it's not gonna give me no help. Okay, cool. I got you. I got you. I got you. So what about here? Probably gotta go to Google. It's getting close. All right, let me go to Google. Yeah, because I don't believe it's going to explain what I wanted to explain. All right, give me 1 second, family. We're gonna look at it together. Um, okay, so let's look at it together. Um, hmm, you know what? Let me be specific. Umbrella record companies. There we go. Okay. So umbrella record companies, major music groups. So you can look at FBA as the major umbrella record company. Okay. It says major groups like Universal, Sony, and Warner are massive corporate entities that own and control multiple smaller record labels, subsidiaries, while labels focus on signing artists, branding, and marketing. The umbrella group handles global distribution, financing, and high level business affairs. So the smaller companies are who the artists sign to. So the artists don't really sign to Universal, Sony, and Warner like that. They usually sign to the record labels of those umbrella companies. So the analogy I was given is like FBA is like the umbrella company. Like it's the label for the acronym. It's the name. Okay. But to throw off the haters because we're not fully delineated, okay? We're not fully disaggregated. So they're trying to throw a monkey wrench in our delineation. They're trying to call it xenophobic or we're divisive. And they're targeting one name above all. They're targeting FBA. So to get them off FBA's back, we start to use Solon, Friedman, if you want to use ADOS, if you want to use something else. You dig? But all of those names are efforts to define the lineage. That's why I just say the lineage, because those names define who we are. We are the lineage. So without a name, we don't even need a name. So without a name, we're still the lineage. That doesn't change. So all those labels are attempts to define the lineage, the best fitting name. A lot of us, the masses, voted on FBA. It leads the way. So FBA is being targeted, you know, all type of intel, informants, agents. They're trying to defame and stain FBA. So what Tariq is going to tell us, which I said already, and he just doubled down on it, was that this is the best time to, when we're public, use the other descriptors as well. Hey, as a freedman, but we're still defining it the same way. So the same way when somebody asks, "Hey, what's the FBA?" We're going to give a definition. Well, that same definition you give to Friedman, you give to Solon. You dig? So, watch this. Now, that being said, check this out. Because the minute you go to talk at your FBA, they're going to deflect and have you answer stuff that you ain't even there to answer, because they're trying to pin it as a organization, a cult with a cult leader. So you won't even get far with why you're even there to do whatever you're gonna do. So you're playing chess. So listen to how Turner she breaks it down. Listen to it broken down this way. Right. Mm-hmm. Shadow ban it. Right. And it grows. The movement grows. The deletion movement, the reparations movement, the messages grow because it's not cornered under one label, and that label get targeted as bad. Like MAGA didn't do that. MAGA is targeted. It became toxic. So you can't even say MAGA at the job. You did definitely not in a blue state without some type of pushback coming or some disciplinary action coming. So we don't want to do that with ours. We don't want the media to mislabel it, defame it, and toxify it. And now we're done looking for a replacement ethnonym. So what he's saying, what I was saying, that's why you'll hear me say FBA, then I'll say ADOS, then I'll say Freeman, all in one breath. To remind you, there's no difference. All those names are attempts to define the lineage. The lineage never changed. The name changes. Negro, color, black, Afro-American, African-American, you dig, FBA, and so on. The name always changes. The lineage never changes. That's there. It doesn't move. So I noticed that. So that's why I just say the lineage. I just say the lineage because that's who we are. But the name is okay too because they're just trying to define us. They're trying to give us a name. You dig? So FBA is, like I said, that's the most sought out name of the choices. It's the most popular. People rock with that one the most. I rock with that one the most. My channel is called FBA News Updates. So I already chose. You feel me? But I see the play. Like Tarina, she sees the play. We see the play. Like they're trying to really throw all the eggs in the basket because FBA. So by saying other terms here and there, certain platforms, certain public conversations, maybe at your job. Now at your job, guess what? You don't got to say FBA and be seen as like target like MAGA. You can say Solon And that's the way to throw them off. And that's just another way to say FBA. FBA is the parent name, it's the umbrella name, and the salons, all that stuff are just sub names. They're like the Atlantic Records. They're like Def Jam. All right. It's to throw them off. So now you can effectively talk about the lineage at your job and talk about us specifically without saying names that's like that's all of a sudden controversial in the public. So you could say Solans. Who's that? Oh yeah, those are people who came came through chattel slavery. That lineage pretty much came from this country. They're like, oh, okay, I never heard of that. Yeah, okay. Don't worry. Because when they Google Salon, FBA gonna pop up too. You dig? But but that's a good way to get the message across. So now when that person is like, now when you got their ear, you could put them on game. Like, yeah, it's Salon, but the real term is FBA, Foundation Black America. Why? Because we're foundational. Black is our ethnicity and America is our nationality. But Solon is like a nickname. You feel me? It's a nickname of the FBA. So that's how you can pull that off. Yeah, because I'm telling you right now, FBA is getting a little hot. The block is getting hot on FBA. People are hating and trying to call it xenophobic and divisive. So you'll be looking kind of crazy at your job or wherever you're at, your business, saying FBA right now. So utilize these other terms. Take the heat off FBA. Well, you know what I mean? But check it out. Right. Right. You're gonna take the heat off FBA, put the heat on ADOS, you dig? Put the heat on Solon. And while FBA gets clear of everything, they were right back on FBA. Right. Right. No, exactly. I know what you meant. They're interchangeable. They're synonymous with each other. Lineage. Friedman or ADOS. And that's why I be telling these fools, hey, what politician you talking about? What politicians? Oh, okay, yeah, that's the FBAs who are under ADOS. That's what they're doing, under Friedman. Yeah, they're like, that's mainly what they do. They want to go to the reparation route. Yep, that's what they do. We're FBA, if we be real, like we really push delineation the most. And those who go under Friedman or ADOS, they be in the court more. You know, there's many ways to signal boost and push the message. We put the need for delineation, and we're handling that. And our family on the other side are pushing the courtrooms more. It's okay. The politicians more. Okay, it's okay. Like we're doing both, but we're favoring one side. And anybody over here, every time they try to make us separate from ADOS or Friedman, I embarrassed. Oh no! So what FBA's doing with? Oh, so you thought ADOS were a separate type of lineage people? Not the same as us. When they talk, they're representing on behalf of the lineage. So if they get a reparation bill passed before us, on this side, we're all the same. But over here, that's still going to work out for us. And if we get something passed first under FBA, then guess what? It's still going to apply to them because they fit the definition of FBA. We fit the definition of ADOS. We all fit the definition of Freeman. We all fit the definition of Solon. And obviously, we're the lineage. So no matter who gets what done first, we all benefited equal. We all benefit from it equally. The same. We ain't tripping. Right. Everyday language. Socialize. Finesse. We got finesse these devils, man. That's it. So like you said, that almost happened with ADOS. You feel me? And then what happened? Then here comes the birth of FBA, the birth of FBA. Here you see. So we can't let that happen to FBA. So we'll get ahead of the game. I'm trying to, here we go. Come on, man. I'm trying to end it. This phone is so correct. It's 1:46. God, your time be flying, yo. I swear on everything. I thought it was 12 a.m. Wow. I thought it was 12 a.m. Yeah, this time be going fast when you vibing with the family. When you talking to the lineage, time be moving, yo. So what I'm gonna do right now, in case anybody, so this link is for anybody. If anybody wanna hit the link and talk about that right there. Solon, the need to throw these people off. Okay. So the Zoom link is for anybody. The Cash App obviously is for anybody. I'm gonna read the chat in 1 second. I'm gonna catch up. Give me a second. Yeah. read the chat, see if any questions in there. I'll read your comments. Oh, yo, why is it so hard to say goodbye to yesterday? Okay. Okay. So it's so lit that the FBA men are working around the clock on this delineation. That's right. With the tethers in the chat so I can roast or silence you. Now, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. This space is a safe zone for tethers. Yo, tethers, they realize, again, I'm being funny. I'm not being funny. When I see my real researcher, I've been doing this on YouTube for like, I got videos like 17 years old, just researching, like research videos. Like, this is how I was introduced to YouTube. Like research. When I was with Unc and them, when they debated in Harlem, I was their researcher. I wasn't debating. I was on a laptop, pulling up, debunking the counter arguments. They debunking the other side argument. I was their researcher. It was my job to listen to what they're saying, find out the argument, got any flaws to, and provide them to Unc and our speakers when it was our turn to go. So I have a history of being a researcher. Okay, and now the researcher has finally came to the mic. So the point is, tethers, they realize that, this dude is sharp. He got a great memory. He knows what he's talking about, and he got a lot of rebuttals. Okay, we ain't gonna go too far on this channel. So then they troll to other channels where you might get a little further, because everybody's not a researcher. Just like everybody's not a this, everybody's not a that. Like the researcher thing, that's my gift. That's what I have that stands. That's my gift, and I know that. Like I knew that when I'd be in conversations with people. You know what I mean? I'm 48 now. I've been knew this when I was like in the Nation of Islam. When it was like, damn, Harrison, like, wow, like how you like? Because we had to study like the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I just joined. I'm like Malcolm X 3 months later. Like I know how to eat to live book front and back basically. Message to the black man in America front and back. How serious has arrived. They're like, damn, like wow, so they looked at me as an asset. But I feel like the concept of Islam is dope. It's great. It kind of reminds me of what we're doing now with the whole on cold movement. We're doing on cold, and this reminds me of the Nation of Islam days, like the on cold movement. It brings the family vibes into our hearts and minds. So when I see you guys in the chat, I can't help but look at you guys as family. You dig? And I know there's vice versa. In the Nation of Islam, the same thing. Like I can be in Detroit. I'm from Jersey. I can be in Detroit. And if there was a Nation of Islam Muslim there, I was Muslim, they was Muslim, Nation of Islam, black Muslims. Like it would be instant network connection. Hey, you good? So let me help you. Let me tell you all about Detroit, where to go and where not to go. That's how immediate. That's how easy it is, family. If I had a flat tire, and I'm in Smile City or State, those brothers and sisters would not leave their hand. If I was hungry, thirsty, Nation of Islam Plus is right there providing food and services. That's how it is. And that's how we are now. That's how we are. But the problem is, like, there's nothing, you got a lot of Black Americans who don't know they are, and they're off code. Okay? So they'll do you wrong, set you out. So there has to be a way where we know who we are, the one that's on code. And that's why I said, let me get to some apparel stuff. That's why I had on code hats, on code shirts. I made the logo, so I can put her in. And I got the D1 logo. Like I can put her on a mug. But you want to know something visible when you travel. Like the D1 logo I got is dope because it's
discreet. Nobody know what that is. They don't even know it's supposed to say before. That's something discreet and don't. Now, if I'm in a city state, I got that big one logo on my hat or some type of clothing, or sister got a purse, we know she's on the lady. We know she's on cool. So we can be like, hey, sis, how you doing? B1, you there? And now she already know. Wait, B1. Be like, hey, yeah, you Brian? Nope. I'm visiting my grandma. All right, well, let me tell you about this city, this thing. Don't go over there. The cops are there, racist. Over here's a bunch of hateful Africans. Don't go over there. They'll do you dirty. And blah, blah, blah. And here's my number. If you need anything else, I got you. And this restaurant is good. That one is shitty. This one is racist. They'll spit your food. Like, that's how it's supposed to go. That's how it's supposed to go. This hotel is good. If you're going to gamble, go over here. Don't go over there. You know, it's a lot of scams on this one. Mafia on this one. Like, that's how it's supposed to go when we know we FBA. Taking Nation Islam, it's kind of easy to know we're Nation Islam. You have you either have a bow tie, right? Or the person will have the haircut with the little part, the Nas part, or you'll have the like, for some reason we all wore this 18 karat gold like Islamic ring that was like upside down, because the Sunnis rock their crescent the opposite way of Nation Islam. So the Sunnis rock their crescent to symbolize it's a new day. This is new Islam. I believe the first quarter. I believe Nation Islam, they rock their flag the other way, symbolizing the fourth quarter. You know, this day is done. It's time for new Islam. Like, this whole world is coming to an end. So the Nation Islam rocking the other way. So that's an easy way to tell somebody's Sunni. If this FBA person is a Sunni Muslim, you know, Arab type worshiper, or is he a black Muslim, a black foundation, a black foundation Muslim? And just off how they want their crescent, the star, sun, and moon, is that easy to tell who it is. So once I see that crescent, it's in the fourth quarter. I know it's with us. All right, yo, assalamu alaikum. And you know what I mean? We do it like that. So the FBA, we got to do the same thing. We got to find ways. And like I said, that logo, the B1 logo is one way. And obviously, somebody got a 1526 flag. And obviously, somebody got the Black American Heritage flag. Like easy ways to recognize these other lineages. Simple stuff like that. Necessary, and we got to be on code with each other. It got to be all love. It can't be on some despiteful, hateful shit. To be real. You dig it? Oh, black to me. Oh yeah. So like, even like Christians, yeah, that's a good point. The Christian, like, you will know Jehovah, like, yeah. Listen, family, I got so good with Christianity when I was like really debating religion. I was so good with Christianity. I would know what exactly you believed in just on what version of the Bible you used. I was that good. If you use the NLT, the New Living Translation, you're Jehovah Witness. If you use this, you were Saturday Adventist. You use this, you're that. Yeah, I became that good just by your translation of the Bible. I could tell what denomination you were probably in just by the version of your Bible. And of course, what you wear. Because if women are consistently wearing dresses, they're either Seventh-day Adventist or Pentecostal. Just by, like, because I would pay attention to, like, every time I go past this church, the women always in dresses. Yep, Seventh-day Adventist or Pentecostal. It's that easy. I kind of fell off a little bit because I stopped debating religion, but I was really, really good, and because I'm good with patterns. I keep telling you guys that I'm very good with patterns. I see a pattern, I recognize it, and I start to identify it. Yeah, and yo, Smite, yo, who said that? Buckhorse says it doesn't matter. We are the grassroots. The grassroots could be another name. We could say foundational grassroots, just to be a
subcategory away from the umbrella name to get the umbrella name some breathing room, because right now it's being under attack. So grassroots, foundational grassroots or grassroots Americans, some black grassroots, something like that. You feel me? Terms that we already accepted, and we're just using that temporarily just to divide the smoke. So it's not all aimed at one thing. One, you know what I mean? So, and also it gives Tariq Nasheed some breathing room, because once you say FBA, they immediately start attacking Tariq Nasheed. Okay, let's give them some breathing room. Let's start saying Adolf. Let's start saying Freedman. Let's start saying the black grassroots. You feel me? Let's start saying the lineage, Solon. And you're going to hear me start saying Solon a lot. So just get used to that. I'm going to say, yo, Solon. I might say Solon Americans. I don't know, Solon Americans or whatever, black Solons, but whatever. I'm start using the word Solon because we want to give Tariq Nasheed a break from unnecessary criticism that he's getting from his haters. Because once you say FBA, they immediately attack him. So yeah, I'm Solon. What's that? So fam, I'm warning y'all in advance. When a tether call in, you FBAs, I hear you, brother. I'm Solon. What's that? People who are from the lineage. That's FBA. Yeah, but FBA is FBA, Solon and Solon. There's a creator of the word Solon. Is he the leader of the lineage? Is Abraham Lincoln the leader of the lineage? He came up with Freedman. You could then pick with him. You feel me, man? Yeah, we are great. And you got to understand, family, we are the only ones in the world who has a living culture. We have a living language. Our culture adapts, evolves every day. Everybody else, Italian culture, German culture, everybody else's culture is stuck. It's stuck. The Caribbean, they do carnival forever. The Africans, they do African drums. They stuck. Our culture, man, it can be one thing for 4 years straight and then be totally something new for the next 4 years. We have a living culture. We have a living language. Okay? So sister hit me up and put me on Tariq. Now she was on Twitter earlier. I was listening and I wanted to get in with the last guy who called in. I wanted to get him, but I have no idea how to get on from Twitter. I'm straight Twitter and TikTok illiterate. So I'm just sitting there looking dumb. I was hoping somebody, and then my name ain't even it ain't even, it's my real name. So they like, who the hell is that? They don't say I'm Bias Ron or FBA Ron or FBA News Updates. Got my real name, Ron Harrison. They like, who the fuck is that? So I was hoping the chat could be like, hey, Tariq Nasheed, that's some Bias Ron or Ron Harrison. That name Ron Harrison. Let him up. So I'm hoping that's why I'm hoping I get to that level where the chat speaks for me. Like, hey, Tariq, pull up Ron. Pull up Unbiased Ron, FBA Ron. Pull up FBA News and Updates. Or if I'm on Dan, TikTok, or Afro-Latinx, hoping like somebody from the chat be like, yo, Dan, pull up FBA Ron, pull up. Because y'all did give me a hell of a shout out about Adonis, to do the Adonis. I think it's FBA Convo. Like he gave me a tremendous shout out over there. So Adonis gave me, he's like, oh really? And he's like, all right, well, shout out to FBA News Updates. And my luck, that's a video he charges to watch. Like, cause I was gonna use the clip and use that part as far as my intro. You dig? And nope, that's what he's charging for. Yeah, I got some bad luck. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just pay the $5 and just clip it and use as part of my intro. But that was a super good look from FBA Convo to shout me out, and he shouted me out and the FBA Convo shouted out my channel. He shouted out my channel. You dig? It was a dope good look. It was a dope good look. So I love that type of love. That's why I got a song called "You Got to Show Me Love." Like, everybody can say this and say that, but FBA Convo, like, he literally showed me love. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't just talking. He said nah, because I think Adonis kind of used like dismissive language to my comment.
Like, yeah, whatever, because he read my comment, like, somebody's wrong, who that? Oh, whatever. And then FBA comment was like, nah, that's somebody's wrong. That's FBA News and Updates. Nah, he a strong voice in this. Like, you knew, but he a strong voice in, what we're doing as far as delineation reparations. He's like, oh, really? All right, well, shout out to Unbiased Ross. And he says his channel's called FBA News and Updates. He said, all right, well, shout out to FBA News and Updates. So that was a good look, good act of showing love. So same thing, family. If y'all see me in somebody's space, I think y'all did that for me. Y'all did that for me when I was on another channel. The chat was vouching for me. I don't know if it was Afro-Elite or somebody else, but the chat was definitely vouching for me. Another FBA space. That was a good look. Because a lot of guys don't really know me because they doing their own thing. They don't know I'm like a smaller channel, working really hard in the background. And, growing slowly, but growing for sure. And those actions of love is definitely something money can't buy. Something a donation could never do. So there's other ways to like be charitable. It's not always monetarily. Right. So no tether, should it? Yeah, man. All right. Yeah, so family, I appreciate y'all. This was a heartfelt live, nothing fancy, no fancy title, no fancy thumbnails, just sharing some updates on clips, dig, and just talking to y'all, just from the heart. You feel me? Tomorrow it might be more of a show. Yeah, man. Love you guys. And oh, wait. Before I go, because a lot of y'all ain't hear this one. A lot of y'all ain't hear this one. Okay, so before I let you go, let me click that audio thing.
Save time creating content.
This song is called Nobody Prayed For Us. Oh, by the way, I got to re-upload it because when I use the automatic subtitles, the words are not accurate to the lyrics. So I got to re-upload it. I'm like a perfectionist, and that bothers me.
Oh. They brought us to this country as a labor force. We built a foundation and they hate us for it. They hate us for it. We built a foundation and they ain't pay us for it. They ain't pay us for it, but they gon' pay for it. Already prayed for it. Non-believers didn't pray for us. Non-believers didn't pray for us. We're black and we built a foundation. Stone by stone, generation to generation. Vultures said we had no culture. Them vultures got a Jay-Z poster. Them vultures got a lacy culture. Vultures eat what they didn't kill. Vultures sleep what they didn't build. They brought us to this country as a labor force. We built a foundation and they hate us for it. We built a foundation and they ain't pay us for it. They ain't pay for it, but they gon' pay for it. Already paid for it. foundation. Stone by stone, generation to generation. Vultures said we had no culture. And vultures got a Jay-Z poster. Them vultures got a lazy poster.
Yeah, so hold on. Let me get out of here. What you think about that? I like that song a lot. Again, I write the lyrics for all my songs. I thought that was dope. The lyrical play, I believe, was dope as hell. I said they brought us here as a label for us. They laid the foundation and they didn't pay us for it, but they're gonna pay for it. Then I said, I already prayed for it, but those non-believers didn't pray for us. They didn't pray for us. Then I said, they said we had no culture, but those vultures got a Jay-Z poster. Like, we ain't got a culture, but you got a culture on your poster. I said, those vultures say we ain't got a culture, but those vultures got a Jay-Z poster. Those vultures got a lazy culture. I said, those vultures like to eat what they didn't kill. Those vultures like to sleep where they didn't build. Yeah, family. The wordplay is the wordplay is on fleek on this song right here. I ain't even lie to you. The wordplay is like I'm really proud of the wordplay I put on that song, man. I think that's some heartfelt, deep stuff right there. I said they brought us over as a labor force. I said this. I said they brought us over as a labor force. We built the foundation and they hate us for it because now they hate that we call ourselves Foundation Black Americans. Like, they're like, damn, why did we? That's a bragging right they got forever. So they brought us over as a labor force. We built the foundation and they hate us for it. We built the foundation and they ain't pay us for it, but they gonna pay for it. Right? Then I said, okay, yeah, the wordplay is unbelievable. They brought us over as a labor force. We built the foundation and they hate us for it. We built the foundation and they ain't pay us for it, but they gonna pay for it. I already prayed for it. Non-believers didn't pray for us. Non-believers didn't pray for us. Then I say the vultures say we ain't got no culture, but those vultures got a Jay-Z poster. Those vultures got a lazy culture. Those vultures like to eat what they didn't kill. Those vultures like to sleep where they didn't build. Yo, that's fire. I'm sorry. Yo, that wordplay is crazy. Yo. That's fire. I'm sorry. That's fire. I'm beating my chest with that one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm beating my chest with that one. I mean, that wordplay is crazy, yo. That wordplay crazy. Ignite G4N said one of the things, it's hard to read it because my screen's so cracked. One of the things about it when I was coming up, when you were spitting rhymes, they held our feet to the fire to make your vocabulary, your knowledge. Man, that means you gotta step the game of facts. Black FBA said that's fire. Adi said straight fire. Yeah, man. Buckhorse said, okay, cool, thanks, Ron. D says I'm in Cali,
But my whole point is just simply meaning you need to be vouched for when you get out here in the streets. This is why you're. Yeah, exactly. I agree, D. Like, 'cause you got a lot of people repping FB on social media that I don't say nothing because I'm on cold. But these dudes look sketchy, man. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I'll roll with you. You say you're FBA, okay, whatever. I'll roll with you. But look a little sketchy, my guy. But I'm with you, D. D, I'm in my city, I'm 100% certified. Not just my city, different cities too. Like people will vouch for me. Like they'll tell you everything. My entire personality online is my exact personality in person. Like nothing changes. Like it's they'll tell you, you dig. Black said we appreciate you, thank you. Adonis stay addressing African Diaspora on his Twitter. Yep, Troy, I'm gonna definitely keep going. The moon their flags also depicts the time of the many solar eclipse, which is now. Yep. I'm with Allison. You know that star crescent. We knew right away. We called them folks saltines or Nabisco. Yeah, saltine. When I heard that one, that was funny as shit. Yeah, the saltine, that or Nabisco. Now Nabisco is a slick. Nabisco is slick. The saltines, you kind of know what we're saying, but when you say Nabisco, I like that one because that's codified. Nabisco, that's codified. See, I like codified language. Or we always saying mayonnaise. If you say Hellman's or Miracle Whip, Hellman's, that's a slick way. Calling them mayonnaise. Yeah. So it's about codifying the language. Emmanuel said, "Talk your talk, Ron." TYB said they are leaking Epstein names. Sorry to be on topic. Now we was talking about that too. But we need to come together now, y'all, because then YT is gonna start with what they usually doing BS per usual. Okay. He said, Ron, just say D, all right, because I'm botching your name. Providers DMX said, I can't read it, got damn heart in the way. Let me just type something. They got this stupid thing in the way in your phone where you can't even see. Okay, he said, Rough Riders DMX said, we in this trinisms, clean the streets. Yeah. Males is funny. But males ain't too codified. At your job or certain settings, it could be like decodified a certain way and you could be ousted. You dig? But Hellman's, like Slicks like see, we know what the names are. So all we gotta do is say Nabisco, Hellman's, like we know what we're implying. Now they don't. Even like they hated when Tarina she came up with the suspected white supremacists. Cause they like, I'm not a white supremacist. I know, that's why I called you suspected. I'm not saying you are, I'm just saying I suspect you may be and you may not be. It's in question. This conversation is gonna determine if you really are or not. So that's why I like to say suspected tethers. Like before we call somebody a tether because they did something funny, let's say suspected tethers. So it's like, so we ain't really call them a tether. But y'all suspected tethers, man. Y'all be wilding. So I'm saying let's not even call them tethers no more. Let's just confirm. But when somebody just running their mouth, that we don't even know, let's adopt suspected tethers to again, we want some breathing room. The media's trying to define us as a hate group, xenophobic, and all this type of stuff. Let's do ourselves a favor and take advice from Trina Sheed. And what I suggested also, start to embrace other names to get the attention of FBA, give Tariq some breathing room, and let them attack Solon or Adolf, or Friedman, or the grassroots. I like that. Buckhorse said the grassroots. He did, because these are terminologies that we use anyway. Okay, we always call ourselves Black America. That's not new. We put a foundation there. We always said descendants of slavery. We just put an A there. We always said we're the grassroots. We always talked about our lineages. I say the lineage. So none of these names we're using. And Solon, we always talked about we gotta have soul. Like we brought soul. So like all these terminologies is language we've already used before. It's not nothing new. We're just stamping the lineage with these terminologies. That's what we're doing. So D says, so my brother's coming from the Caribbean. I'm gonna say we don't have a problem with you. We have a problem with some of you guys scamming and doing the reverse effect, putting us back on the boat again. Yeah. So I like to look. We're gonna change the language completely, right? So when we speak to tethers or suspected tethers, let's make it plain that we're speaking to the individuals in question and not the country. Let's make our language so crystal clear that nobody could ever say we're xenophobic or divisive. We're gonna speak to the people who do actions that's tethered, like where there's no confusion, where we're not talking about the entire continent of Africa, all the islands, you know. So I've been thinking about this heavy, like, okay, let's start to sharpen up our language because they're really trying to derail our delineation move before it gets started, you know, before it grows legs. So let's do ourselves a favor, start to get crystal clear on the language. You dig? I'm tetherphobic. Yeah, so we're gonna start saying suspected tethers, and we're gonna start saying those who do this, tethers who do this, or you know, where we're making it clear we're not talking about your entire island, your entire country, continent, and that's where I'm on family. I'm gonna start to pick and choose my language very carefully. Minister Louis Farrakhan had to go through that because he used to talk about certain people, certain groups of people, and he had spoke to that. He said, it's not that the person is innocent, they're still guilty and they deserve whatever name I have for them. He just said that he recognized that, you know, there's a time and place for such language. So when he's on Phil Donahue, he's going to smile and, you know, he's going to be the fox. He's going to smile and be articulate and be nice. But when it's time to growl like a wolf, and called the white man a devil, he gonna do it in those spaces. You feel me? And this is why Dr. Khalid Muhammad had beat up on Sean Hannity, because Sean Hannity wasn't aware of that. How the Nation of Islam growl when they need to and smile when they need to. So he thought Dr. Khalid Muhammad was gonna come growling on his show. And he could paint him as the wild Negro, the wild angry Negro. He didn't do that. He came there smiling, articulate, expressive, and Sean Hannity kept saying, "But you called me the devil." He said, "I never called you that today." And Sean Hannity looked it so bad that his own audience was calling him out. Cameras were calling him out, like, "No, he didn't say that." Sean Hannity, you know, you're jumping over. You're too reactive. He was so frustrated, yo. That chess move Dr. Khalid Muhammad did coming on Sean Hannity's show with that smiling approach. Oh, he made sure he looked so bad because he kept trying to paint to his audience that Dr. Khalid Muhammad is this angry, vile Muslim who hate white people, and his audience didn't get that impression. You know, they got the impression of a college graduate, a person with a PhD, who's very articulate and know how to express his thoughts and point out racism and injustice in America. That's who they experienced. They didn't experience this black man that just called white folks the devil every 2 seconds, the person who Sean Hannity was trying to depict. So he was like, well, Sean Hannity, you might be right in what you know, but today you're wrong. He didn't come with that. You were gaslighting him to call you a name. He never did. You were unprofessional. You cut him off. And, you know, his audience cooked him, man. Cooked him. That was a great, y'all. Type in Dr. Khalid Muhammad versus Sean Hannity. Oh my God, it was so embarrassing. I'm sure he wanted to like go somewhere and just cry. Like, I hate white people. He was so upset. But of course, and I remember that. I agree with Trump. Their shithole country's choice says. Um, D says because it's easy for them to make this a political football that they can throw around whenever they want. But until a real name comes, these are the politics we're gonna do. Exactly, D. Like we gotta play chess. We can't be stupid and be arrogant and be dumb and repeat history. Like we already see what they're trying. They're trying to frame FBA as a cult, a hate group, a terrorist group, and we can't allow that. So we're gonna take Tornashe's advice, take my advice, and start to use other words to describe us that's already in existence. We ain't got to make them nothing new. Solon, Adolf, Friedman, and every so often FBA, and the lineage. You know, the grassroots. Somebody said, Buckhorse said the grassroots. These names were already there, or Black Americans, Black people. And this is all used to say the so-called Negroes. Y'all want to get on the so-called Negro. That's how Nation Islam called us, the so-called Negroes, so-called white man. Yeah, so there's names that's already accepted that when you use those terminologies, people know who you're talking about. You say the soul people, nobody's confused that that's Black Americans. Right? So Freedmen, come on, man. Who else was freed from Who else was freed via Emancipation Proclamation? When you say Adolf, American descendant of slavery, okay, that's common sense. All right, Foundation Black Americans, okay, it's not hard to. The grassroots, that's language we only use in America. We as the lineage, as Foundation Black America, we only use the grassroots language. So there's certain terminology that we say, we already know who we're talking about. And they're all interchangeable. They all describe the same people. There's no confusion. Yeah, the Phil Donahue was the best one. I used to sell DVDs, and the one I sold the most was the Phil Donahue one. Like I used to go in barbershops, and I used to convince the barber, hey, put this in there, try this out, see if they like it. And man, I'm talking about Christians, Black Christians, whoever, they watched that Phil Donahue one, and they loved that. And of course, I had them in the bag, DVDs in the bag. I'm like, yeah, man, I got these for selling $5, and man, he should buy my stuff up, bro. He should buy, everybody who watched that, I was guaranteed to sell at least one. And with that $5, I'll go buy a $5 bag of fish and cook it at home. You dig? I was definitely a hustler. You know what I'm saying? Troy says Dr. Kalaman was a very shrewd king. He said he was a very shrewd king, R.I.P. The Honorable Dr. Khaled Abdul Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum. Do you see the question when they asked Malcolm X, do you hate all white people? He was so intelligent in his answer. He said, for a white man today, I'm trying to find it. He said, for a white man today, he also enjoyed the poem. Okay, this is very wild that in the whole history of this Islam, the two famous kills that they have under their belt is Clarence X and Malcolm X. You. D is funny. Black said, yeah, because they were trying to start saying foundational. Yeah, exactly. They start saying foundational white Americans. So yeah, we gonna because they got the whole heritage movement over there. These white supremacists. So like I said, it's dope that we just shuffle the cards, shuffle the deck, deal again, deal next hand. You know what I mean? When we got and I'm not saying throw away FB. I'm saying put it on hold so we can kill the noise, kill that we're hate, xenophobic. Let Trina Shea get some breathing room. Let us stop being attacked by everybody. Let's start saying Salon. Let's start saying Freeman. Use all of them interchangeably. Use all of them. Don't even stick with one. Just use all of them every chance you get. Yeah, that's Freeman. In the same sentence, you can say, man, that's Freeman, bro. We went through a lot over here. We were excluded from the HOLC, FHA. Yeah, so Black Americans, we, Foundation Black Americans, man, we deserve justice, man. We never got our just due. You got these Karens out here supporting illegal aliens, right? And going against the federal government, you know, the government of public officials, foreign public officials. But these Karens in the 1960s, when legal citizens were being violated, these Karens were not defending Solons. They were not defending Solons. Matter of fact, they were the root cause of Solons were being attacked. They're the reason why Black Wall Street was bombed from the air. They're the reason why Rosewood was burned from the ground. So these same Karens that got this undenying love for illegal immigrants always had this historical dying love for people of the lineage. You see, so I didn't use them all in one sentence. Throw them off, throw them off, throw them off, get them off our tail, man. We're smart. We're smart. We're codified. We're not dumb. Okay, so let's continue being smart and let's continue being codified. Let's switch up the language to get them off our heels. Stop trying to attack FBAs. Stop trying to use FBA to attack Tariq Nasheed. Let's mix it up. Let's use Solon. Yes, let's use Friedman. Let's use Adolf. Let's come back to FBA. Let's use grassroots. Let's use so-called Negroes, whatever. With an ex-slave, former slaves. That's again, that's we are. A lot of times, Dr. Khalid Muhammad will use that terminology. He say America's former slaves. He'll say that. But yeah, we got to mix up and be smart. Don't give them a punching bag. Don't give them a target. That's stupid. So anyway, family, we're going to talk more about this tomorrow. Yeah. When is the father of the 5% nations of the color and the other is the father? Yo, the Black Panther Party movement, literally. Dr. Khaled. Hey, yo, it's funny because I was just commenting on a Nation of Islam dude. No, 5% dude that was like talking about the Allah school in Mecca and Harlem. And I had got on him a little bit because he had like a Latino looking kid thumbnail. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is that about? Like, why are you talking about the school of Allah? And you got your thumbnail, you got a Latino looking like 3-year-old, 4-year-old. What the fuck is that about? Some ice shit right here. Yeah, the mic is low. Family, we out of here. Love you guys. We get a Black Panthers now. They want to say White Panther. Yeah, exactly. But family, they can't co-op Solon. They can't co-op. Now they could co-op Freeman because they got something called free white persons, but they can't co-op Solon. They can't co-op grassroots. You dig? There are certain names that just go one way. Solon and the grassroots. There's no other way to say soul. Okay. Silk, that's not gonna work. And grassroots, I don't know what else. What they gonna say? Vine roots, that's not gonna work.